Remember hearing about the Monday fatal shooting of 30-year-old
Yeah.
Arthur DeRay Ward
Yeah.
and the wounding
Yeah.
of another man who is still in the hospital, all on Knox Road. The Kern
Yeah, she
County
came
Sheriff's
on.
Office say they have made an arrest
And
in
just
that
50
shooting.
for
22-year-old Don Terrence Brown was arrested
good count.
Tuesday. The charges against him have not been specified publicly yet by the arresting officers.
No, I was
The
telling
injuries
Chris,
of a
I
man
bought
who
it 3
ran off
weeks
the
ago.
road
The
and hit a
tape to the
tree
game,
Wednesday morning
it came
were described
came
by
this
the
morning.
Highway Patrol
It came
as
this morning.
major.
Swear to God.
They say
The
that
Bailey
went down
Lock.
at about 2:30
Yeah, it's
a.m. on
$3.
Famoso
Yeah,
Road.
I was praying it was
Near
going to
the
come.
area
I was
of
ready
Highway
to game.
65 and Kite Avenue.
Oh,
They
yeah,
do
I'm wearing
not
that
know whether
tomorrow.
drugs or alcohol
Oh,
may have been a
dude, it's
factor in the
sweet.
crash.
I just
The
don't
man
like
has
that.
been
They're all into
ID'd so
gold.
far
And
as
the hat, I got the
46
hat
years
too. I'm
old.
gonna wear that tomorrow.
The woman
No,
who told her secret about
Big
Cesar
Dog got
Chavez,
one. Gave it to
spoiling
me.
the mythology
And
around
it's
him
got-
and causing many changes to the way he's thought about.
Did he?
has
Well, did you see
been
the
named
hat
one
with
of
the
the
gold
100
brim?
most influential people
I like that, but I'm gonna
2026
sport
by
it.
Time magazine. Dolores Huerta.
Yeah, and it
is
wasn't even
a
sold out,
included
but
in
it was
their
packed,
pioneers
but it wasn't
section.
sold
She is
out.
the co-founder,
The
along
top
with
back
Chavez,
corners were kind
of
of
the
empty. Other
United
than that,
Farm
it
Workers.
was
The average price
it
for a
was
gallon of
packed.
regular in
And
California
dude,
now $5.86, says
wrapped
Gas
as
Buddy.
Garvey.
I'm Chris Davis in the
Yeah,
KERN
and he
newsroom.
lied and
News
said he
every half
remembered
hour,
talking
and
to
when
me.
it breaks on News Talk 96.1
Yeah,
and AM
and
1230 KERN.
and he broke a story. He said, "I'm not done with politics." He said, "I was going to run for governor, but I had some familial things going on at the time. But then I'm not done." And I said, "Well, Mr. Garvey, if you hire me as your speech communication director, you'll win." And he goes, "I'll keep you in mind." Whatever.
I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening, however you may be viewing, for those subscribing on YouTube. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Thursday, 16th day of April. Chris Burdick producing the broadcast. We've got another busy show. Tell you about my day in Los Angeles at Jackie Robinson night at Dodger Stadium. The president made news today. He worked the press line and said, "We've got a deal." I'm going to ring that bell again. I'm going to be redundant as I have been since Epic Fury has begun. He's got to play this straight. And I don't know about you, but wait till you hear the bites we have where he's saying they're going to give, well, you'll hear it in just a second. An Emerson poll has come out since Eric Swalwell has eliminated himself from the gubernatorial race, who, by the way, is going to jail. I'm going to replay some audio for you. He's going to jail. But in the meantime, the two Republicans remain atop of the leaderboard. But there has been a major shift. We'll get into that at the bottom of the hour. It's a Thursday, so Mike Turnipseed will be here at 4 o'clock. Our money man, Daniel Petrie, at 4:30. And we got some local news to get into. The man accused of raping, robbing, and kidnapping a woman coming out of a local gym was convicted today. Cynthia Zimmer was the prosecuting attorney in that case. That's a huge victory for her. And Tiger is fighting the government's attempt to get all of his prescriptions. They want to know what he was prescribed, how many pills, et cetera, et cetera. His defense team continues to fight that. And I cannot read my writing. Oh, CPS is the consulting team that they brought in here. Despite the fact that they graded themselves an A+ the last time they were on our show, called in a consulting firm, which we are paying for, and they are having listening sessions. Why didn't I get into consulting? That is the biggest scam in the world, where people from San Diego are called up here to tell us how to deal with our children. And how do they go about telling us to deal with our? They're having listening sessions. So basically, they want you to tell them how to deal with our children. because our CPS people certainly can't. DHS, they're not doing the job, if you ask me. There are too many children like the young Mata girl who are falling through the cracks. And for these people to come on our show, did you find that old audio, Mr. Burdick? Yeah, we're going to play that for you, where they came on this program, the two heads, and I asked them, what grade would you give yourself in the wake of the Mata case and all the things? Well, we try hard. I'd give us an A+, which is a crazy grade to give you for anything, for any agency. That means there's no room for improvement. And there is, but we are going to spend money to bring a consulting firm here so that we can improve, despite the fact that we think we're an A+. Okay, whatever. We'll delve into that. But I'll real quickly run you through last night. It was a ball. We were down at Dodger Stadium for Jackie Robinson night. Things have changed a little bit. The children don't come anymore. I don't think the son who lives in Africa, David, was there. I know the daughter was not there. His granddaughter, Jackie's granddaughter, threw out the first pitch, along with the trio from the UCLA Bruins, the national championships, Kiki Palmer, Kiki Rodriguez, who Big Dog and Scotty G ran into in an elevator.
Kike Hernandez. Can I put Kike?
What did I say?
Kiki.
What did I say? I thought I said Hernandez. What did I say?
Oh, no, you said a different name.
What did I say? Rodriguez?
I think so.
I'm losing it. That's all that is. And I'm not on a lot of.
I didn't know if that's what you meant or not.
No, I meant. That's why I said they ran into him. They're not Kiki Hernandez. Excuse me.
Yeah, there you go, the Rodriguez.
What is the UCLA girl's name? Oh, now I can't even remember that. Kiki, whatever. Her and what's his name? The sister of the other UCLA Bruin.
That one's Gabriella. I remember that.
Jaquez or
Jaquez.
Yeah. The three of them were there. That was kind of cool. They brought their national championship award with them. And it was a pleasant night in LA. I had 2 jackets and two shirts and
Kiki Rice,
lovely young woman who's dating somebody famous, but nevertheless, it was just a great night. Got to talk to Steve Garvey. I don't know if you've seen my Facebook and Instagram entry where I got to talk to Steve Garvey, and I just reminded him, I said, my name's Ralph Bailey. I'm a radio talk show host in Bakersfield. We sat down and talked in our studio. He said, yeah, I remember. And then he went into Bakersfield. You know what I'm saying? If somebody really remembers, they're like, yeah, I remember, Ralph. I came into your studio on that Thursday. Or, yeah, I remember you guys. Yeah, you're a great reporter. But when they get, yeah, I remember. And then they go into a totally different topic. And he started talking about Bakersfield and how it used to be the AAA place. And I said, yeah, I moved up here while the club was still here. And the story, though, I'm bearing the lead, is I asked him, I said, are you done with politics? And he said, no. He said, in fact, I was this close to running for governor, but was going through some familial stuff, but I'm not done. And then I arrogantly told him, well, sir, if you hire me as your speechwriter and communications director, you'll win. And he was nice enough to lie and say, I'll keep you in mind, which he's not. But it was just a great time. We saw Mary Hart. I think that's the first time I've been to a Dodger game where Mary Hart and her husband, Burke Sugarman, were there. She looks unbelievable. She's 75 years old. I'd date her. I'd date her in a minute. Get all that Sugarman money. He's 87. He looks pretty good for 87. He looks great for 87, actually. He really does. Burke Sugarman, not that Chris or anybody his age knows what Midnight Special is, but he's the guy that helped create, along I think with Don Kirshner, the Midnight Special. It was a show that came on, Chris. We were talking about it in the car because everybody was old enough to remember it in the car. But came on like Friday nights at midnight. And if you didn't have a date or you weren't out acting stupid, that's what you watched. And they had everybody on this broadcast. I mean, everybody. The Rolling Stones, Ike and Tina Turner. I mean, you name who was hot in the 70s, and they had them on this broadcast. The only really funny thing that happened, we were waiting in line to get into the stadium in the cars, and it was backed up. I mean, it was probably backed up all the way to the freeway. That's how packed it was. and this guy was selling alcohol. Like normally we see the guys selling hats and T-shirts and dolls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This guy was rolling down between the cars selling beers. So the second time he came through, I asked the guy, I go, hey, how are you selling beers? And he goes, I just sell it. And I go, no, I mean, how do you don't have a license? I mean, how do you do that? He goes, I got balls. I said, yeah, yes, you do. Considering that the damn police academy is about a mile from where we're standing, you know what I'm saying? There are cops all over Dodger Stadium.
They have to know.
I'm not sure because the second time he came through, he was selling merch. So I think he covers it up with the merch. And then when the cops ain't looking, he goes down the aisle. Anybody want a beer? You know, he had ultra lights and I got balls. That's how. Okay, Mr. Criminal. But it was a great night. I want to thank Big Dog. It's just always a fun night. Although something died last night.
What's that now?
The Ramada edition has died.
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't turn in. Just because it just doesn't make any sense anymore. Because the joke was every time we go to this one hotel kind of near Burbank, the bar would either be under, because we'd stop to have a cocktail. And every time we'd stop, it was under construction. The bartender has COVID. We had a fire. The fountain drinks don't. It was always an excuse. Always an excuse. Finally, the last time we went there, there was no bar. It was like a wine thing, so we didn't even stop. A sad, sad tradition died because we've been doing this now. We were talking about this last night. We've been doing this now for almost a decade, going down at least on Jackie Robinson Day, and Big Dog says we'll go down for a couple more games, but I'm not really counting on it. And don't think that I bought this last night. I'm wearing a beautiful, for those not viewing on YouTube, a beautiful baby blue Dodger hoodie. No, I ordered this the day Big Dog confirmed we were going, hoping that I could wear it to the Dodger game. And it showed up this morning. I swear to God, the Bailey luck. It showed up at 10 o'clock this morning. I was like, damn, a day away. But like I said, it was a pleasant night. So I didn't really need to get all dolled up. I had 2 jackets like an old man, but it was a great night. I know. I didn't think it, I thought it was going to get below 60.
Oh, you're fair.
The night I bought that $247 vest, it was 53, 54 degrees. It didn't get under 60 last night. It was great. It was a very pleasant night. When we come back, we'll talk about the Dodgers because there's a lot going on. And coming up at the bottom of the hour, we will get into either the Emerson poll, the gubernatorial poll, or the Iranian situation. I haven't actually made up my mind what is most important. The Dodgers have the best problem you can have. Doc has the single best problem a manager can have. And I'll explain what that is when we come back. It's a Thursday. I had to think about that. On the Ralph Bailey Show, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, where we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, we'll chat with local super attorney Matt Clark about this Uber bill that they're working on. We have the latest on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, our adventures in the Strait of Hormuz, news, traffic, weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 and streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Sangera Subaru. So winter is gone. The weather is finally starting to get warmer. Time to head over to Sangera Subaru. Wouldn't it be nice to drive off in a brand new Subaru? Just imagine the sunroof is open, your hair dangling in the wind. You feel the warmth of the sun. And if you're talking sporty and comfortable, then the choice is clearly the Outback. Did I mention affordability? You can lease a 2026 Outback Premium CVT.
Grab my water for me, would you?
$39 a month for 36 months and just $4,700 down down due at signing. Plus, every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive, and the offer ends April 30th. So stop by and see Damon Culbertson, Hassan Levy, and test drive a brand new Outback. Sangera Subaru, paving
not
the
a big
way
fan of
for a
it
better
either,
community at 5500 Gasoline Alley
didn't
Drive
come in
in
the
the Bakersville
Dodger blue
Auto
color.
Mall.
Lease a 2026 Outback Premium CVT Monaco TVG-11 for $239 a month for 6 months. With
Came in a
deposit,
red.
$700 plus registration and title
It was
fees. First
blue,
payment
a
plus
red,
taxes
and a
and
black.
$85 dock fee due at
I got
acceptance.
the
Lease based
blue.
on 7,500 mile year limit, 15 cents per mile overage. MSRP $37,158. VIN number TY462135. Available to qualified customers through SMF with the complex, make smart financial decisions, and move forward with confidence, without the jargon, without the pressure. Retirement planning, big life transitions, or just getting organized and knowing where you stand. And now you can find us in a new home, the historic Woolworths building, right in downtown Bakersfield. MoneyWise, clear advice, local roots. Learn more at moneywiseguys.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through LPL Financial. LPL Financial and MoneyWise Wealth Management are independently owned and operated.
The NBA playoffs are right around the corner, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. You can also trade on who wins each series, the conference finals, and the championship. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in live market. No house, no odds makers. And as the odds move, you can buy in or out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code ACTION to get $10 off when you trade $10. That's code ACTION. KALSHI, Kalshi. Trade on anything.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox.
You know you look so good. You look so good. You know you could be going now. To like a new would. We're shaking up, baby, now.
Shake it up, baby.
The tasting show.
Who is this?
You know, I thought it was supposed to be the Beatles, but clearly it is not.
It is not the Beatles. That is not Paul McCartney.
I'm seeing
I don't know much.
Bug.
Say what?
Bud Bug.
Bud Bug.
B-U-G.
Never heard of him.
It's under the 60s pop songs playlist, so I assumed it was just the Beatles version, but it is not.
It is not. Did everybody get their primary election hand guide or whatever the hell this thing is? Pretty interesting. I might read some of these gubernatorial bios of some of the many candidates. And it looks like we're going to get stuck with Shirley Weber as our Secretary of State again, because nobody's really challenging her, unfortunately. But we'll get to that in a second. Meantime, the Dodgers' problem that every manager wants. What problem do they have, Chris Burdick?
Too much pitching?
Too much talent.
Yeah.
They have too much talent. There are not enough positions on the field. I mean, Mookie Betts is not in the lineup right now, and nobody even knows it. It's like Mookie who? And Dalton rushing is causing a stir. He really is. Dude, I mean, I know it's a small sample size, but dude is hitting .529. He's got 4 home runs in how many at-bats? 17. He's got 4 home runs and 17 at-bats, including a grand slam last night that opened up the ball game. But the problem is he's a catcher. And I don't know, we've got the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air who ain't going anywhere, just signed a 10-year contract. And you got Hassan Keem, they pulled back up. He hit a home run last night. He's hitting .278. Tommy Edman is due to come back. Mookie's due to come back. Miguel Rojas, check this out. Hey, Siri, what is Miguel Rojas's batting average?
Miguel Rojas has a batting average of .357 this season.
You see what I'm saying? Who plays and who sits? How do you sit Miggy right now, hitting .357? How do you sit Dalton Rutching, getting hits half the time he's at bat? And if I could do math, I'd tell you what 4 out of 17 is, what percentage that is, but it's a big percentage. Damn near, what is that? I'm guessing it's about 40%. I bet I can beat you. Hey, Siri, what's 4 of 17? 23%, 20, yeah, round it up to 24%. A quarter of the time he's hitting home runs. Again, it's a tiny sample size, but the kid's got a sweet bat, and he was doing this in the minors. But what do you do? DH him? Oh, I forgot about Shohei Ohtani, who did not hit last night. Did you guys notice that? That's the first time I've seen that.
First time in 5 years.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, I believe it. I've never, and I think it's a good move. I talked, screamed, and cried all last year that he did not hit well when he pitched. He rarely hit well. I don't think he's hit a home run while he's been pitching. But we've just got way too much talent. And then even in the bullpen, Kyle Hurt came in the ninth and was throwing BBs. Got hit a little bit, but and Alex Freeland, who I didn't think was going to make it, is starting to come around. You know who is the odd man out?
It'd be Kim, wouldn't it?
I think it's Max Muncy, who struck out 7 consecutive times Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
Struck out 4 times Monday night.
That's Muncie baseball, though. That's like Schwarber. They hit bombs and strike out. You just got to kind of live with it.
Yeah, and he's defensively sound. And there's really nobody.
6th on the all-time list for you guys for home runs?
Probably. Not a very impressive list, though.
Fair, but
it really isn't. Because you know who the Dodger all-time home run leader is? It's crazy. Let me put it this way.
Recent?
It's not fairly recent. It's not an old school guy. Don't look in the 70s. Don't look in the prime. Eric Karros.
Really?
That's what I'm saying. It's not a very impressive list. You would have thought Duke Snyder, maybe Ron Say, maybe no, I'm not Dusty.
Imagine if
maybe
Cody
Garvey
got hurt, what he'd be doing right now.
He'd be killing it. But it is fun to watch. And I'm a hypocrite, but Tanner Scott is the bomb. He's got a 1.13 ERA. He hasn't been scored upon this season.
The dude's always been a great setup guy. That's been his natural position.
I said it in the car. Well, he was a closer, wasn't he, before when we signed him?
Not really. I mean, he did for the Padres when they needed him to, but he was really the setup guy before they gave him that.
Well, now the Padres have the best reliever in baseball.
Mason, heck yeah.
Payson, is that it, bro?
Mason Miller, yeah.
I thought it was Payson.
Oh, I think it's Mason.
No, I'll look it up. I'm pretty sure it's Payson. I'll bet you lunch it's Payson.
Yeah, no, it's Mason with an M.
You just looked it up?
Yeah, Mason.
Well, then there was a typo in what I read because I read Passan. Who is that?
Passan, but I don't know anybody named Passan Miller.
I thought that was the kid. Well, anyway, he's the best reliever in baseball. But Tanner Scott looks great. And I was saying in the car on the ride home, I think he was injured his first year with us. Or maybe it's just Albert Pujols did not really have a great first year with the Angels. He really didn't. And then his second year, he became the Albert Pujols that was in St. Louis. And granted, he was a little bit older at that point, but free agency is difficult. We assume these guys are robots that you can just pick up, move your family, start with a new club, get a lot of money, have the pressure of having to deliver with the kind of contract that everybody knows you have. It's one of the few businesses in America where everybody knows what you make, and it's in the damn newspaper. And there's a lot of pressure when you sign for a ton of money. When you're the highest paid reliever and you're coming to a new team that's already winning, and you've got to come in and contribute. There's a lot of pressure, and maybe he just couldn't deal with it because he looks sensational. Edwin Diaz didn't even warm up last night. We just got too much talent. It's so good, it's almost not fun. But it is, believe me. but it's almost not fun. It's almost as if the games are rigged. It's back in the Laker days. I swear I had this approach when back in the late 80s, where I would watch just started doing home games in the 80s on Prime Ticket on KCAL. And I would hope that the Lakers would be down at halftime because that was the only way the game was going to be interesting. Because if the Lakers were up 8 at half, you might as well not even watch the second half. They're going to win by 16. The Lakers never blew a lead, not with Magic and Kareem. By the way, I believe it's Kareem's birthday today. Hey, Siri, when was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar born?
Kareem Moore was born August 13th, 1980.
No, Siri, when was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar born?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was
Yes,
born
April 16th, 1947. The day after Jackie Robinson entered baseball. And they have something else in common. They both matriculated at the University of California at Los Angeles. Jackie was a semester away from getting his degree, but had to go play baseball. Kareem, who I believe is one of the single smartest athletes in the history of sports. He's an incredible writer. I think he got a history degree from UCLA. We interviewed him when he came up here for the Harlem Renaissance at the Bakersfield Museum. And this cat is
Kern Radio.
Brilliant. Quick time out. Don't go anywhere.
I'm Keith Peters in Washington. A 10-day. You got me looking at Kareem stats, and I lost track of time. Started. Barrages of gunshots rang out across Beirut early Friday as residents fired into the air to celebrate the beginning of the truce. The two neighboring countries held their first direct diplomatic talks in decades on Tuesday in Washington after more than a month of war between Israel and the Iran-backed Lebanon-based Hezbollah militant group. A looming jet fuel shortage in Europe and Asia sparked by the Iran war and the effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz could further upend world travel within weeks if oil doesn't start flowing soon. That means higher airfares and flight cancellations. On Wall Street, the Dow by 115 points, the Nasdaq rose 86. This is SRN News.
Kern Radio. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN. Headlines from the KERN Newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis. An arrest in the Monday morning killing of 30-year-old Arthur DeRay Ward, which happened on Knotts Road in Bakersfield. Kern County deputies say they picked up 22-year-old Don Terrence Brown Tuesday evening. A possible 125-year sentence awaits 44-year-old Benson DeLeon, who was found guilty Wednesday in the 2023 kidnapping of a woman from the In-Shape Fitness parking lot, forcing her to withdraw money from several ATMs and then sexually assaulting her. 12-year-old Liliana Milner was last seen about 11:15 p.m. on Willow Terrace in the Gossamer Grove area of Shafter. She's described as 5'5", 125 pounds with brown hair and burgundy shoulder-length hair. Police are asking you to keep a lookout. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 at AM 1230, KERN.
You see the light come on, it's flashing at you, check your mileage, and yes, it's time for an oil change. Don't wait until your engine begs for help. Head to Kern Oil Change. Fast, friendly, and affordable service that keeps your car running smooth. No appointment needed. Just roll in, roll out, and drive with confidence. Plus, get free fluid top-off with every oil change. Kern Oil Change has 2 locations to serve you, 3706 Coffee Road and 5651 Auburn Street. Kern Oil Change is open 7 days a week. Get in, get out, get on with your day. Follow us on Instagram for additional savings.
Get ready for the 11th annual Mac and Cheese Fest, happening Saturday, May 9th at the Kern County Fairgrounds from 2 to 6 p.m. This year's event is going to be bigger and better than ever. Enjoy endless servings of mac and cheese, along with refreshing beers, spiked seltzers, cocktails, and live music. Tickets are on sale now. For more information and to grab your tickets, visit BakersfieldMacandCheeseFest.com. Happening Saturday, May 9th at the Kern County Fairgrounds from 2 to 6 p.m.
This event benefits the Bakersfield Ronald McDonald House.
It's the final home game of the regular season on Friday for the Bakersfield Condors as the team hosts Fan Appreciation Night. presented by Dignity Health and 23 ABC. There are thousands of prizes to win in our mystery scratchers, including jerseys, merchandise, gift cards, memorabilia, and more. The playoffs start next week. Get a playoff pass and save money. Friday is the final home game, and it's fan appreciation night. Doors open at 6. The puck drops at 7. Fun starts at just $15 at condorstown.com or by calling 324-PUCK. This is Condorstown.
Coming up on the Friday edition of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, we are about a week into the new Trump strategy of blockading Iran while allowing other ships through in Hormuz. Does this mean the Iran war is coming to a close? We'll talk to Kim Strassel of the Wall Street Journal about this and also give you all the latest news of the day.
Live at 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Tuesday, anything you want, you got it.
Anything you need, you got it. Anything you want, you got it. Shout out to Scotty G and Ron, who were with us last night. We had a great time. Appreciate those guys. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, Max is in trouble. He's got as many home runs as Dalton rushing. He's playing every day, and Dalton plays like, what, once, maybe twice a week, pinch hits, DHs. I don't know what they're going to do with all these guys. I mean, again, Tommy Edman isn't even on the team yet. Kiki's not on the team yet. Mookie's not on the team yet. Mookie has an oblique problem. He was catching. He's not that bad because he was catching for Will Smith when he would end the inning. You know, you send somebody out to warm up the guy while Will Smith is putting on the equipment. He was the guy going out and warming up people, catching Shohei at 95. You know, so he can't be that. And he's getting in a catcher's crouch because where's the oblique? Right in here, around your ribs, like underneath your underarm. Isn't that where the oblique muscle is? My physiological knowledge is not good. Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, and it's just the kind of injury that you can feel okay, and then you just move the wrong way. I mean, literally just getting out of a chair can cause it to recur. But it's a great problem to have. We've got too much time. I mean, like I said, Miggy's almost hitting 400. How can you not play him? But where do you play him? Second? So now Freeland's not getting any time. What happens when Tommy Edman comes back? Andy Pages is the hottest hitter in baseball still. He's still hitting over 400. He got a couple of hits last night. Got a nice little double last night and a nice sliding catch. I just don't see anybody beating us. And this whole nonsense about how much money we spend, I looked at this thing last night. You know, we're like $90 million more than Toronto. What the hell? I know that's a lot of money in the real world, but in baseball, who the hell can you sign for $90 million? Like one player. So you're telling me that we're one player better than Toronto? And they outplayed us in the World Series. They just were stupid. They ran the bases poorly. They were fundamentally unsound. They did stupid things, and they lost. They outplayed us, and they lost. The Mets, did you know this, Burdick? That this is the first this past year where we had a payroll of $515 million and led Major League Baseball? But that's the first time we've led Major League Baseball?
Yeah. The Mets
for the last 3 years, the Mets have dominated spending.
Yeah.
And what have they gotten for it? So stop this nonsense about it's all about the money. It's about our minor league system. It's about our knowledge. It's about our management. It's about Mark Walters. It's about just, they have genius, Stan Kasten, Friedkin. They have geniuses everywhere. It would be a complete failure if we didn't win a World Series. I just don't see us not repeating. I really don't. I really, really don't. Because every team has players that slump, but we've got guys on the bench hitting 350. What? Freddie's down? Bring in Dalton rushing. If he can catch, he can play first base. What? Mookie's gone? Bring in Miggy. What? Edelman's not playing? bring in Hassan Kim. It's just, and now Roblisky is pitching well. So now even our the weakest members of our starting staff are playing like stars. Sheehan pitched well the other night. If y'all got a name of somebody who's gonna beat us, because it certainly ain't gonna be Yo Phils. That's for sure.
Oh no, we suck.
Okay, thank you.
I will not argue that one. No, I'm sorry. I'm just writing down the date and time so I can pull this for when the mushes.
No. There's no no. There's no curse. There's no mush. There's no luck. There's no superstition that's going to stop this ball club. Not just absolutely not. And there was a declaration by Shohei Ohtani. I'm going to win the Cy Young. He's 2-0 in 2 starts with 1 run he's allowed in the last 36 innings. And when you get to sit behind home plate and see him throw, there's a difference.
Oh, yeah.
He throws hard. And his fastball kind of moves to the right a little bit. So he can throw it like just off the plate, and it's not a strike, and the left-hander has to go search for it. He could screw around because I think he's going to get more wins than Yoshi, because Yoshi never gets any damn run support. He didn't get the win the other night. He left out 1-1 and didn't get the win. We came back and won on a Kyle Tucker blue base hit the left field.
Pretty sure that's how the season started for you guys last year with him as well.
Yeah, again, he got no support. He got like, I'd guess he had like 14, 15 wins last year. Probably should have had 22. Really should. There were so many really close games that he lost. But anyway, we got to move on and talk serious stuff, including the president's incredible statement. He's on his way to Las Vegas to take a victory lap for no tips on or no taxes on tips, because that's where he came up with the idea, allegedly, that he talked with some waitress who complained, I make a lot of money in tips, but you guys take most of it, blah, 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 blah. And they're claiming that that's where the idea was originated. So he's going to Vegas today and Arizona to campaign. Again, the midterms are still right around the corner. And he did not work the press line the other day, which is rare for him. It's almost uncharacteristic, where he just walked straight to Marine One. But today, he worked it. He literally walked up and down the press line answering questions, and he made some news. Here is the president on a possible Iranian deal.
Very important is that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, and they've agreed to that. Iran's agreed to that, and they've agreed to it very powerfully. They've agreed to give us back the nuclear dust that's way underground because of the attack we made with the B-2 bomber. So we have a lot of agreement with Iran, and I think something's going to happen very positive.
Now, what's been the theme since Epic Fury has begun? What is the one message I've tried to get you all to embrace? He has to play this straight. This isn't a campaign. This isn't an election. This isn't a debate. This is war, where everybody is sitting on the edge of the seat waiting to hear what you're going to say. Let me give you an example. I watch the news mix, which is like the, what's the football?
Red Zone.
It's like the Red Zone, where you have 6 compartments: CNN, Fox, MSN Now, the BBC, and 2 weather channels. All 4, including one of the weather channels. All 4 of the media networks, including the BBC, and one of the weather channels ran his working the press line today when he said they've agreed to give up their uranium and they've agreed to give up their nuclear infrastructure. Well, then bring the boys home. Does anybody believe that? Does anybody truly believe that? Play that again one more time, Chris. Listen to this. Listen carefully to this.
Very important is that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, and they've agreed to that. Iran's agreed to that, and they've agreed to it very powerfully. They've agreed to give us back the nuclear dust that's way underground because of the attack we made with the B-2 bomber. So we have a lot of agreement with Iran, and I think something's going to happen very positive.
Okay, you heard it. He's tripling down. He's not only saying that the Iranians have agreed, he said they're very strongly agreeing to give up their uranium and end their nuclear surge. Does anybody believe that? Because I just don't. I'm sorry. I'm not in the business usually of disagreeing with the leader of the free world, but they're just going to hand over their enriched uranium. Okay, well, let's pray he's telling the truth. Let's get on our hands and knees and pray he's telling the truth. But once again, the theme is you got to play this straight, because as while he's saying they've agreed to this very strongly, he just sent more troops to the region. You can't say we've won. You can't say they've agreed to all of what we want, because what else does he want? Lebanon? Hezbollah? Because the Israelis are still searching for Hezbollah members and still fighting with the Lebanese. Well, listen to the president.
With Lebanon, it's very exciting. I think we're going to have a deal where we're going to have a meeting, first time in 44 years, and Lebanon will be meeting with Israel, and they're probably going to do it at the White House.
When do you think they will?
Over the next week or two.
Or the next week, and do you think this agreement can reach?
I do. I think we will have an agreement between Lebanon, and they're going to take care of Hezbollah. But they're going to be working on Hezbollah right now. But we'll have an agreement between Israel, very importantly, and Lebanon.
Will you support our Lebanese army as well?
I would. Yeah.
You want to
Hezbollah agree to the ceasefire? I mean, how do you even?
They're all agreeing. It's a very nice little package for about a week, and we're not going to have lots of bombs dropping, and we're going to see if we can make peace between Lebanon and Israel.
I hope he's telling the truth. But do you all really believe that suddenly Hezbollah doesn't want to destroy Israel? That the Iranians are going to hand over their uranium? And the ongoing search since 1979 to become a nuclear power is suddenly going to end because Donald Trump says it has to? I pray he's telling the truth. I pray to God, I swear to you, I do. I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. But we'll see. And let's pray I'm wrong. I could absolutely be wrong about this. But we've seen him exaggerate in the past to make it sound a whole lot better than it is. And okay, the blockade is holding. There have been, I think, 14 ships that have been turned around. Nobody has tried to run the strait or the blockade. But I will believe, because then what's next? It's over. Bring the boys home. But instead, he just sent more troops to the region. I can't even guess. I think it's in the 20,000 number of troops that were there. We just sent about 7,000 new troops over the past couple of weeks to inside the Strait of Hormuz, and just have been lucky that nobody's tried to run this blockade, or that would get bloody, because, you know, this whole thing about boots in the ground, everybody says, oh, boots are, well, there's boots on the sea. What's the damn difference? A $20,000 drone could sink one of those ships and damage it badly and kill a lot of Americans. They are inside the Strait of Hormuz. They're inside the Persian Gulf. So they might as well be on land. They're just as susceptible to attack in the Persian Gulf as they would be, probably not, maybe not as much, but they're still in harm's way, as the phrase goes. Let's go ahead and take a break when we come back. Check the board, see what you all are talking about. We will get into the most recent Emerson poll. And the two Republicans, as they have throughout this entire campaign, are still atop the leaderboard, and June fastly approaches. I'll tell you who the big winners are from Eric Swalwell eliminating himself because of his criminal behavior. Because as I've said, and will continue to say, as my grandmama used to say, he going to jail. That boy ain't right. He going to jail. You'll hear from his accuser once again. It's a Thursday, so Mr. Turnipseed joins us at the top of the hour. We'll talk money with Daniel Petrie at 4:30. And a consulting firm is in town trying to tell us how to deal with our children because clearly our local agency doesn't know what the Sam Hill they're doing, in my opinion. I don't know if they have a bunch of employees who are burned out, overstressed, overworked, too many cases, but it ain't working. It ain't working. Genesis Mata should have never, ever happened. An 8-year-old girl who was tortured for days, found dead in a bathtub at a local hotel just about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from where I'm sitting. So we had to spend money to have a firm from San Diego come up and tell us how to deal with our children. So what are they doing? They're conducting forums where they're asking you to tell them so they can tell us how to take care of our children. Life is a kick in the head, isn't it? Quick timeout. We're coming right back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Thursday. The only screwed up part of my week, we got back at like 12:30. I didn't get to bed till like 1:32. So I absolutely, for like now the 4th or 5th time, blew off Mark Swaim at a 7:20 tea time this morning. And I texted him last night right before I went to bed. I said, Mark, it's 1 o'clock and I'm just going to bed. Ain't no way in the world. I'm getting up at 6:30 in the morning. Big time out. Coming right back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1, AM 1230, streaming live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.
Adaptive.
KERN. First Look with Scott Cox. Morning 6 to 9
Did they come in here
On
yesterday?
the Friday edition of the First Look program,
So I
we'll
didn't
chat
call
with
him.
local
I
super
forgot.
attorney
What about
Matt Clark
Howard?
about this Uber bill that they're
Howard
working on.
McCullough?
We have the latest on the Rock
I
and Roll
totally
Hall of Fame,
forgot.
our adventures in the Strait of Hormuz, news, traffic, weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 and streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
If you run a business, and I assume you use IT, you need to get on the phone and call the folks at Adaptive Networks for several reasons. For the very same reasons, those of us here at American General Media hired the Van Alstynes to handle our IT service because we take it seriously. And we can't afford to have it kidnapped, taken for ransom. And that is a reality in the 21st century. There are scammers out there that can get inside your codes, your passwords, all your IT information. Then they give you a call and they say, hey, Ralph, unless you give us $30,000, we're going to spread this out to every radio station in California or just not give it to you at all. Well, at Adaptive Networks, they can stave that off, prevent it from happening in the first place. And secondly, if it does happen, they can retrieve your information for you and save you a ton of money. Plus, they're prompt. And as I've talked about at a radio station, our IT basically runs our station. So we can't have somebody calling us back saying we'll be there tomorrow or maybe the next day. They're here when we're in trouble. So if you're a businessman concerned about your business, call the folks at Adaptive Networks at 661-241-0638 or hit them online at adaptive-net.com.
And we're back. Here we are. Rob and Bob from California Fruit Depot. We are going to make the nation's first complete AI commercial.
we are.
Yes, we're going to talk about we're open 9 to 5, 7 days a week. We have great shakes. We have great staff. We have oranges, citrus, nuts, all locally grown. Lots of it locally grown. So here's version 1.
California Fruit Depot is located near Bakersfield, California, off the Highway 58. Open 7 days a week, 9 to 5. Top-rated staff, phenomenal shakes and smoothies, sweet citrus, locally grown nuts, and so much more. Rob and Bob, nationally syndicated, locally appreciated radio talents, are their spokespeople. Free lemons are available, free parking, and so much more.
And here's version 2.
Yeehaw! California Fruit Depot, located off Highway 58. Smoke them if you got them. Great staff, wonderful prices, shakes, smoothies, free lemons, free parking. Come one, come all. Open 7 days a week, 9 to 5. Closed most major holidays.
And for those of you in the 08,
AI is not something you cover with an eye patch. CalFruitDepot.com.
Pet owners and parents know the struggle. Every time dogs or kids go outside, they track mud right back in. If
you're tired of scrubbing floors, you need Muddy Mat, the anti-mud mat that cleans paws and shoes before they ruin your home. Only Muddy Mat features thousands of ultra-soft microfibers that are 5 times more absorbent than ordinary mats, instantly trapping dirt and water to protect your floors. Put it by every door, under pet bowls, in the kitchen for spills. It even makes a perfect bath mat. And it's 100% machine washable, so cleanup is effortless. Since getting Muddy Mat, I don't worry about what my dog gets into. His paws are clean the second he steps off. No more mopping. I love it. Thank you, Muddy Mat. Right now, get a free medium Muddy Mat with your order of 2 or more mats at buymuddymat.com. This offer is only available at buymuddymat.com. That's BUYMUDDYMAT.com. Don't wait. Get your free Muddy Mat today at buymuddymat.com.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton live at 9 a.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Be my little baby, be my darling, be my baby now. Whoa, 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 whoa. 842-5376, 842-KERN. So an Emerson poll came out, and as I've tried to explain to Kathy, the 2 Republicans remain on top. The poll reads like this, and this is a dramatic change since Eric Swalwell, who's going to jail, eliminated himself. He's going to jail. He's going to jail. Because the reason that Republicans have a chance at winning the gubernatorial race is because there's a chance the 2 top Republicans will be the 2 going to the general election. As you know, we are involved in a jungle, what is called a jungle primary, where the 2 top vote getters win and go to the general. It used to be the highest voted Democrat versus the highest voted Republican. You all, not you all, but all of us here in the state of California, the idiots that we have here, voted for this jungle situation. It's just ridiculous. Now it's going to just spit in their face, because if these 2 win and go to the general, even though they can't stand each other, it will be a great general election, them fighting one another. We'd be a shorter Republican. And the reason that is because it's such a spread out field. The state leader tried to tell the Betty Yees with their 2%, the Tony Thurmond with his 1%, the Matt Mahan with his 5% to get the hell out of the way and let Porter and Steyer and at the time Eric Swalwell try to eliminate at least one of these Republicans, because let's face it, if it's a Republican versus a Democrat in any race, anywhere in the state of California, the Democrat is likely to win. I'm not sure that's even true anymore. Not with the state of California. And I mean that not as a noun, but as a verb. The state of our state is horrendous. I mean, the homeless, high-speed rail, pricing, gas. How in the world can I don't know what our population is, but the millions of people in the state not want to change? It's crazy. But it looks like this. Hilton's still leading with 17% of the vote. Chad Bianco, Riverside County Sheriff, 14% of vote, who Sheriff Donnie Youngblood is supporting. Angela Barton, who's FKLEA, is supporting. Here's the dramatic turn of events. Tom Steyer, because remember, the reason that I said that Swalwell leaving is such a horrible thing is because his 10, 11% is going to go somewhere. And it's going to promote one of these top 4, excluding the 2 Republicans. So where is it going to go? Well, it went to Steyer, who all of a sudden is at 14%, tied with Chad Bianco. And it also went to, get this, no, not Kathy's gal, Katie Porter. It went to Xavier Becerra, who the last time we were here, last time you tuned in, was at 3%. He's now at 10 and is in the top 4. He could be trouble. He could be trouble. And Katie Porter is still hanging around where she has been throughout much of this campaign at 10%. And now Matt Mahan got up to 5%. That's gargantuan, just in as much as he will participate in Wednesday's debate, which you can see on Nexstar channels. And KGT is a Nexstar-owned company, so it'll be on 17 Wednesday. I believe it's 7 o'clock. Don't quote me on the time. I believe it's 7 o'clock. But this is a make or break debate where I think somebody is going to get eliminated and somebody's going to get, because remember, it's 23% undecided. But I think there is a chance. Antonio Villaraigosa, and remember, this is coming in the wake of the University of Southern California, which is, I know, I got Kessler and I got the Valprados, their daughter, with the John Sokolo's daughter and Monica's husband. They're big SC people. I know there are a lot of people. I can't stand SC. Never. I just, all the kids at my high school that went to SC were the most entitled, richest, most spoiled, bratish kids I'd ever seen in my freaking life. And why did they all go to SC? Because they were all getting C's and their parents paid money so they could go. So I've just, since 12th grade, I've had a bias against SC. And I was always a UCLA fan growing up, so I just don't like SC. But this comes, Wednesday's debate, in the wake of the University of Southern California canceling a debate because Antonio Villaraigosa is polling at 3%, Tony Thurmond is polling at 1%, and Betty Yee is polling at 1%, said that it was racist that they were excluded because one's Mexican, one's Asian, and one's black. It's not because amongst the three of them, they have a grand total of 5% support. No, that's not it. We just didn't want an Asian or a Mexican or a brother. And if I had the FCC off my back, that would have been a funny line, but I had to call them black and Mexican and Asian. Quick timeout. Mike Turnipseed's next.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN, 96.1 FM, K241CI Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Speaking with reporters, President Trump says Israel and Lebanon have agreed to a temporary ceasefire.
It's very exciting. I think we're going to have a deal. We're going to have a meeting, first time in 44 years, and Lebanon will be meeting with Israel, and they're probably going to do it at the White House.
That ceasefire is now in effect. Displaced families began moving towards southern Lebanon and Beirut's southern suburbs, despite warnings by officials not to attempt to return to their homes until it became clear whether the ceasefire would hold. The president was also asked when Americans can expect relief from high gas prices.
Well, they're not very high. If you look at what they were supposed to be in order to get rid of a nuclear weapon with the danger that entails. So the gas prices have come down very much over the last 3-4 days.
A former candidate for governor of Virginia takes his own life and that of his wife. Correspondent Bernie Bennett has this report.
Police say that Justin Fairfax, Virginia's former lieutenant governor and a rising star in the Democratic Party, before his career was derailed by sexual assault allegations, killed his wife before killing himself. Fairfax County Police Chief Kevin Davis says the couple was found dead at their Northern Virginia home in Annandale after their teenage son called 911 shortly after midnight Thursday. Fairfax and his wife, Dr. Serena Fairfax, were going through a divorce, and Fairfax was served recently with papers that indicated when he was next to appear in court. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
A looming jet fuel shortage in Europe and Asia, sparked by the Iran war and the effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz, could further upend world travel within weeks if oil doesn't start flowing soon. That means higher airfares and flight cancellations. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 115 points. The NASDAQ rose 86. More at townhall.com.
Shit, I can't have sweets for another 3
You've probably
months,
heard
dude.
all
I
those
had
ads
two
for life
fucking
insurance.
Elvis
Just a
ice
few
cream.
dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right?
They have
Now you're thinking,
nuts and
maybe I should get a quote.
and
Well, smart
fucking-
thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But
two
here's what they
fucking-
don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health.
Dude, I got
That's
down.
why everyone
I had
calls
prime
Big
rib and
Lou
lamb
the
for
50
dinner.
to 60-year-old not so
Prime
perfect
rib,
candidate.
lamb,
Like you.
scalloped
You take
potatoes,
prescription meds, and you're overweight. Winner,
big old
winner, fried
asparagus.
chicken dinner.
I talked to
But
Mary
Big Lou
Hart.
works with life insurance
We were
companies that
getting
want people
asparagus
like you
together.
with no surprises
said,
after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou
they're
could
like
probably find you
lawns.
$1 million
She's like,
of
"No,
term
I
life
haven't."
coverage
I
for
said,
about
"By the way,
$200 a
I
month.
miss you on
So yeah,
television.
you
I miss
need
you.
life
I said, I
insurance.
wish you were
But unless you're
on
young and healthy, you
I
gotta call
don't.
Big Lou because he's like you, older,
Yeah,
heavier,
so I had-
and
yeah,
on
lamb,
meds too. Get a quote
prime
right
rib,
now at
scalloped potatoes,
800-555-2085,
broccoli.
800-555-2085, or biglou.com.
Then had a dog.
From the
Had a
KERN
chili
Newsroom,
dog
your
with
live and
cheese
local
on
news
it.
update.
and then had 2 bowls.
A killing inside a Bakersfield apartment. I'm Chris Davis.
And a bag of peanuts.
A 60-year-old man is dead, and police say he was the victim of an assault. That is how they put it without releasing any further details on the cause and manner of death.
Why do you put
the
your
killing
headset on
happened
before we
Wednesday
start?
morning just after 6 at an apartment on Taylor Street, just east of New Stein Road and south of Stockdale Highway. Bakersfield PD
we playing
says
this
they got a
Saturday?
call
You can
about
call
a
me
medical
Saturday.
emergency and found the man there. They have not released the man's name and have not announced any arrests. When a man and
On
his
Saturday?
uncle woke up inside their apartment in the middle of the night back on September
Let's play
17,
this Saturday.
2024, they smelled smoke. And when they opened the door,
I gotta
the
play with
stairwell
Swan.
was on fire, and the only way out was to jump from the second floor. So they
We didn't get
did.
home till like 12:30.
Now, Noah Lee Elizabeth
We had
Ruiz,
7
the man's ex-girlfriend, has been convicted of setting the
I
fire
set
and
my
trying to
alarm
kill both
knowing
men.
that I wasn't
She'll
gonna
be
get out.
sentenced May 12th and faces up to 13 years in prison.
7:20.
The Bakersfield
We can do it,
Police
'cause, yeah,
Department
we can do
says
it.
they
I like this
investigated
show.
2 killings in March and 8 sexual assaults.
32
The department released its stats on crime for March
I know.
this week. That
I didn't
also
buy this
included
at Stadium.
44 robberies
I purchased
and
it
120
when we were
aggravated
going.
assaults.
No, when we were going
The
3
average
weeks
price
ago,
for gas in
hoping I
California
could
is
wear
down a
it,
penny from
and it came this
yesterday and
morning.
is now at $5.85 per gallon of regular. The national
from,
average is $4.07. A woman who police say was shot when she came at them with a knife in July of last
Off
year
to
may
wear
not
it
have
to
to
the
do any
game,
prison
and
time.
it came this morning.
Dejanay Holmes has been granted a mental
Bailey
health
Love.
diversion by a judge, which means if she
By a
completes
day.
the program,
By a
she
freaking
will
day.
be free. The incident happened at the Walmart on Gosford Road when police
got
were called
shitloads
there
of
with store security
I'm wearing
saying
my-
Holmes had assaulted someone. She confronted police, was shot, and was arrested later. I'm Chris Davis in the
Hey, do you know what
KERN
is-
newsroom.
do you know what
with
is the
news
most
every half
popular
hour and
golf
when it
club in
breaks on
America
News
right
Talk
now?
96.1 and AM
You damn
1230
right it is.
KERN.
And it's going for $2 billion. I paid a buck for it.
That's well in a month from now. This big shot's gonna give you what
Randy's
you
gonna
want.
buy
Too
it.
late. They start shooting
Randy's
in a
gonna
week.
buy it.
I'm gonna make him an
I
offer
said,
again.
he says, what'd you pay for
The
it?
Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 and AM
Well, they're
1230.
popular. Just-
KERN.
I told him.
And I've seen the promised land.
Chip Hill from the 357. I told Randy. That's why I told
But
him.
I
He said
want
he
you
was
to
gonna
know
buy it.
tonight
I said, let me tell you something.
that we as a
Turnipseed.
people will get to the
And I
promised
said,
land.
Call in or text to
661
661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Thursday, 16th day of April. A happy birthday to Lou Alcindor, better known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And I think I can make a pretty damn good argument that he is the greatest of all time. I think he's the smartest athlete in sports, the smartest athlete I ever interviewed. And he had the most unstoppable shot in the history of the sport, the sky hook, you doggone Skippy. And he's just a fascinating cat. He's not a very nice man, very aloof. Oh, yeah, we got to back up the camera. Yeah, he's very aloof. He is an intellectual. He has written books. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. Chris is right.
Basketball player UCLA's ever had.
I think he's the smartest athlete in the history of sports. What do you got? Come up with something as I do the introduction. Before I introduce my Thursday regular, I've got a shout out for my Monday regular, Kathy Abernathy. Kathy, as I think you are aware, well, you're not aware of the details, but I traveled Los Angeles last night, and in the vehicle were 3 Taft boys. And you made me lie to them, Kathy. Why did Kathy not use YouTube yesterday?
She, never really gave an answer, but
you got to make her do it.
Okay.
Because even if Kathy, if you don't want to be on camera, point it at Chris. But you got to use the YouTube, because I lied to 3 Taft boys who absolutely adore Dave Knorr. And I lied to them and said, well, you guys can go back and watch the Dave Knorr interview on YouTube. And I get a text from Big Dog. No, I can't, Ralph. It's not on. I went and searched. And I'm like, she didn't even use it. So, I mean, literally, if you don't want to put it on camera, put it on your guest. Was he in studio? Oh, he's on the phone?
No, because that was the other reason why she was kind of skeptical of doing it, because it was just going to be her. Everybody was through the phone. So
what? Kathy's, she's a very photogenic woman. What's the matter with you, Kathy? Hell, if we can put the camera on Turnipseed, we can put it on you.
Thank you, Ralph.
It's a Thursday.
I
what?
changed my song.
Supposed to change that.
You flubbed his song?
You flubbed my
Yeah,
song.
I forgot.
Now.
He
It's
wanted Don't
baseball
Stop Believing
season.
all baseball season. I
Don't
forgot about that.
stop believing.
Yeah.
You need to stop believing because your Giants are bad. How long do
I
you
don't
think?
care.
What do you think the over/under is on your University of Texas coach that you hired, who's never managed in Major
We
League
did not
Baseball?
hire the University of Texas coach
Oh, that's right. You keep telling me that. It's the University of Tennessee. I apologize.
who won the NCAA championship
In college,
in college. I said the NCAA
which
championship.
is just a skosh different than
Yeah,
Major League
we'll see.
Baseball. Just a skosh different than everybody throwing 100 miles an hour and hitting balls 415 feet.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
So you think the over is? I'll put it at the All-Star break, and you're betting on the over that he'll last until after the All-Star break.
No, he'll still do the season.
No. He'll get whacked before the All-Star break. Do you see what's going on at Cal State? Speaking of programs, athletic programs.
What have they done lately?
I just saw this. It happened a day ago. The female basketball coach who was put on paid administrative leave, and they weren't any. I didn't see it. But Chris, do you know anything about this? The female basketball coach who quit.
I don't know much about it, to be honest.
I mean, there is chaos. And the only reason I'm bringing this up, because I know you're not a big CSUB sports guy, but the reason I bring it up is you've got your ear to the ground. Is Vernon Harper in trouble? Is he on a hot seat? Because, Mike, a sports program is no different. I mean, obviously it's different, but in terms of the overseeing of the president, it's no different than the chemistry department or the communications department. It's a department that you, as the president of the university, have to oversee. And I'm pretty sure we can all agree that the Cal State athletic department right now gets a big, fat F. They got one guy who's on trial for human trafficking. They've got another almost lawsuit brewing about the softball team. The female basketball coach was put on paid administrative leave. She's now left. They just hired her. I mean, what say you?
Well, there's one very classic example.
Yes.
When Penn State had their issue
with old Joe.
Well, no, the guy who was playing with the kids in the shower room.
That was
Sandusky.
That's when Joe was the head coach.
And Joe was head coach. And even Joe Paterno. It happens.
Yeah.
And who else happened? I think the university president got hacked.
That's all I'm saying.
I mean, there were 3 or 4 people above the higher chain that all got whacked.
That's what.
And if it can happen to Joe Paterno, and it happens to the president of Penn State University, which is one of the higher end public institutions in the United States.
Preach, Mr. Turnipseed, preach.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Wow. Having church up in here on a Thursday.
You know, it in colleges, it seems to flow uphill. It doesn't flow downhill.
No, you're absolutely right.
And
you got to hold somebody accountable.
And while I know the new president's only been here a few months, he was the provost before that.
Right.
And I don't know exactly what the provost does, but he has a pretty high level of authority of what goes on at school.
Yeah. And it's been more than a few months. He's been president for at least a year, hasn't he?
I don't think it's a year yet.
I think so. I think so.
Time goes by fast when you're having fun.
We all know, Chris and I know his right-hand man, Kristen Jacobs. Used to work here for a hot second. I knew her. We worked at 2 different radio stations together. We worked at Buckley Radio together, and then we worked at Clear Channel together.
So what does Kristen Jacobs do?
She's his, Girl Friday, to go back to the 20th century. His right-hand man. His aide, his administrative assistant.
Well, usually there's a chief of staff in there, too.
Yeah, she's not chief of staff, but
yeah, chief of staff is the right hand.
Yeah,
maybe she's the left hand.
Okay. But is he on a hot seat? Do you think?
I don't know. I'm not that involved locally with Cal State.
Yeah,
it's
too bad.
Just kind of run a different zip code, and most of my stuff seems to be working around Kern Community College District right now.
Well, he ain't Horace Mitchell. I'll tell you that. This is Horace right here, by the way. He ain't Horace Mitchell. who was one of the better, if not the single best president in the history of the university. Because remember, the university is younger than I am. What, 70, 71? And they've only had like 4 presidents: Arciniega, Mitchell, Zelensky, and
oh no, before Arciniega was a guy named Romberg, I think.
Arciniega wasn't the first president?
No.
Really?
No.
I thought he was.
Romberg?
Hey Siri, who was the first president at CSUB? Chris, help a brother out here. My phone is doing whatever the hell it wants. Hey Siri, who was the first president at Cal State Bakersfield?
Here's what I found.
Why can't you just tell me? You just can't just tell me. You gotta make me look it up. I'm doing a radio show. The first president at CSUB.
Paul Romberg?
Paul Romberg.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
I can remember some things. I don't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, but I can remember Paul Romberg.
Hey, you got Bailey disease. For what years?
67 to 73 is what I see here on the website.
67? I thought the university was born in the 70s.
67.
I did not know that.
Well, that was like maybe they opened the doors, but he comes there before that. He has to get things done. They got to build the school. They got to do a lot of things. So I don't know when they first actually opened the doors.
I thought that was like 71.
So he spent 4 years building the school.
Look that up, Chris. When did CSUB open? But anyway, what else is going on locally? Anything?
Locally?
Yeah. Nice shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Same old thing. I mean,
you're not gonna
Thank you, Ralph.
You're not gonna reciprocate though?
Oh, Ralph, you have such a beautiful Dodgers sweatshirt. I don't know,
wore it today.
light blue.
Yeah, Chris doesn't like the blue.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not a fan of blue. I've got to go back to retro colors. These teams that have all these funny colors.
They didn't have the dark blue, obviously, because it would have faded off the blue. But they had black and red was the color.
It's amazing how many teams have black sweatshirts.
Everybody has black. That's my favorite hoodie. My Dodger Raider black hoodie. I love that.
Well, the Raiders are black and silver.
Yes,
it makes sense. Dodgers are not black and silver.
No, they're not. No, they're not. The Dodgers are all in the gold now. Everything is gold. Wait till you see.
Well, after Trump, I saw a picture of Trump over a doorway into the West Wing, or wherever one place is. It had gold leaf and his name on it. I mean, is that what they're doing all over the White House?
Yeah, and the Trump arc is about to. They're getting that ball rolling. He's got like an arc that mimics the French arc of Triomphe in France,
but not theirs. Isn't 250 feet high.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That is taller. That's as tall as the arc in St. Louis. But it's just a thin little arc. It's
but aren't there laws in DC? You can't be higher than a certain.
Well, they're talking about it's going to block the view from the mall or some like the Lincoln Memorial or something to look across the water to
the White House.
No, across the water
to the Washington Monument.
No, to the cemetery, Arlington.
Well,
it's going to block. It's going to.
You can't see Arlington from Lincoln.
On the backside, I mean, across the water, it blocks your view of the water at the other side of the water. And somebody says where he was putting it, and the complaints were it blocks this beautiful view of something.
It's not Arlington, which they're creating more land for Arlington.
Well,
they're extending it.
People are still dying.
Yeah,
sorry to say,
yeah.
Not just currently people, but I mean older people. There's still some World War II vets still hanging around.
Damn right. Damn right.
102, 103 years old, and you hear that, and it's but that's what it's for. Arlington is one of those beautiful places I've ever been.
It really is. We were talking about it in the car last night. I was telling the fellas, it's the greatest. What's the word? Just tale of two cities for me, because every time I enter it, the first thing on my mind is it's the most beautiful piece of property that I've ever seen, and then like guilt sinks in because on my shoulder, my conscience tells me, Ralph, it's a cemetery.
But
can a cemetery be beautiful?
Cemeteries.
Can a cemetery be beautiful? Is that just seems like?
But Ralph, it's perfect.
It is.
We've all gone to the cemetery. I don't care where I've been to go to the cemetery after a funeral. Out of town, in town. They're always walking. It's a little rough because they settle and all
Yeah.
these things. Arlington is perfect.
Yeah.
You look at it, the hills are just perfectly smooth, perfectly manicured, and
and the rolling hills. It looks like a golf course. That's why I love it so much. It reminds me of a golf course.
It's Augusta.
It is.
It's not any golf course.
Do you
It's
know
like
whose property?
Augusta.
You know whose property that was?
Robert E. Lee.
That's right. How did he acquire that property?
Who, Robert E. Lee?
Yes.
Didn't he give it to the?
Well, they took it from him.
They took it
from him. But how did he acquire it? They took it from him because a Union general wanted to spit in his face and bury Union and Confederate soldiers in his front yard.
Oh.
That's how it started. That's a true story. But how did he acquire it? The property.
I have no idea.
He married George Washington's non-biological granddaughter because along with having a tooth problem, he had other problem. So he had no children, but he married
A lady with children.
a woman with children, and they owned that property, and he married her.
And the government took it from him.
And the government took it from him. Yeah. And now it's the greatest cemetery on the planet. It really is. Why?
I think all of them. When you look at the cemeteries in Europe after World War II, they're immaculate.
Yeah.
And you would think all those, I don't know what they all have crosses or stars.
Right.
But you look at them, they're still perfectly white.
My dad's cemetery is ugly. It's a military cemetery in Beaufort, and it's just nothing but stones. It ain't Arlington. It ain't Arlington.
Well, nothing's Arlington.
Yeah.
Or the ones they go to in France where they had the landing, and that one is absolutely beautiful.
Why did the Board of Supervisors take off the agenda the acceptance of the new replacement for the Open Door Network? I'm not saying its name because I can't remember. Is it BSR or BRS? It's BRS.
BRH.
Bakersfield Recovery Services.
Bakersfield Recovery Services. According to staff, it was pulled by the department.
Meaning the DA.
That's what the department is, yes.
Yeah. And I have two sources that said it had something to do with procurement, but that seems like a flimsy, weird excuse for a whole situation that has been bizarre from the beginning.
I heard from a source, only one source.
Yeah.
I like to have three. So I'm
do too.
going to say
I do too.
that they're out shopping.
Really?
Yeah, they opened the window
made
again
punt?
for other applicants to apply.
They made punt on BRS?
They're at the table already.
Right.
They've opened it up for other people to apply to enter the process.
And we've got to stress that the Board of Supervisors are not going to up or down the contract based on the merit of BRS. It's just an occupancy thing for the Board of Supervisors, correct?
There is two parts. There is a contract, and then there's the lease. Even though
you're complicating it, Michael.
Well,
and you're not answering my question.
Do
they have anything to do with for the quality of service? The Board of Supervisors. Can they tell Cynthia Zimmer who to hire? Basically,
no.
Exactly. That's my point. It has nothing to do with the merit of BRS. It has to do with the occupancy agreement.
The contract has to meet the county standards, but total decisions are made by, just like the sheriff is the sheriff, all the electeds get to make their own kind of decisions because they're elected.
Right.
That's court law, case law.
Yeah.
So that's not it. But the agreement for them to move in and the insurance they have to put up for different things, that's an occupancy issue.
It's bizarre that it was taken off, though, is it not? This whole thing nothing's gone according to Hoyle with this whole thing from the very beginning.
I think they found out this. And again, this is one source, that supervisors cannot have received money within the last 365 days.
We learned that at the first meeting where Flores and Parlier had to abstain or recuse themselves. And Couch wasn't present.
That Parlier's check or his donation will be 366 days next week sometime. So he will be off probation by the next board meeting. So they won't have to draw. Remember about because couches receive money.
But it wasn't within a year. And that's the standard.
Parley A will next meeting be beyond a year, so it'll be okay for him to vote.
And even if it weren't, they would have put, even if David Couch wasn't, they would have put the names in a hat, pulled one of the names, and they would have been able to vote and therefore fulfill the quorum.
That is what the law provides. And I assume somebody didn't want to go along with that. So we'll just wait 2 weeks and have Parley A free up and let
Is that your guess? That they delayed it?
That's my guess after doing this for 21 years. And that he will be the third vote.
That's not a bad hypothesis on your part.
I've been watching this 21 years, Ralph. I've seen almost everything.
And you only tell about 25% of what you know.
About that.
See, Mike, I need at least 50%. Just give me 25% of what you know.
Okay.
We
Make me a paid.
We pay you extremely well.
What do you mean? I pay for lunch half the time we golf.
He knew exactly what I was alluding to. Yeah, but I'm going 2 for 2. I'm picking it up Saturday again.
Well, that's because I went 2 for 2 before that.
Yeah, you did. What was that? Oh, I was broke. I got shim sham.
That's when you got shim
I
sham.
gave away all my money, and you had to pay for lunch. I forgot about that. That's why I'm picking it up again. Not too early, though.
Okay, Ralph.
All right. Hi, Turnipseed. Quick time out. We're talking money again. Not mine, but the country's, with our money man, Daniel Petrie, at the bottom of the hour. Coming up at the 5, we'll get into the fact that there's a consulting firm in town telling us how to deal with our children because our agency doesn't know how, in my opinion. I'll explain. And prosecutors in the Tiger Woods case want to know all about his prescription drugs. Meanwhile, his defense is fighting that, which I think is telling. We'll get into that. I've got some other miscellaneous news and notes. A horrible story out of Virginia, the Commonwealth of, where the former lieutenant governor, who back in 2019 was accused of sexual assault and absolutely destroyed his career, became a drunk, became domestic violent, and now has shot his wife 4 times, went upstairs and ate the gun with his teenage children in the house. It's the Ralph Bailey Show in the 21st frickin' century. Good googly moogly. On Newstalk 96.1, AM 1230, and streaming live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio. News
Yeah,
Talk
man.
96.1
I'll bet
and
you
AM 1230.
another lunch that I break 90 Saturday. The Valpredo family are back. I'm telling you, I saw it on tape.
Restaurant
and I'm right
Old
here.
World Delicatessen.
And
what in the Sam Hill can I tell you about Luigi's that you
where he
don't
said,
know?
you know what, pick up your
The
right
warehouse
hand,
has
you're
been an
stopping
absolute game changer.
Pick
I'd
up
be
your
willing to
right
bet
hand
that
like you're
90% of my
stopping
audience has
Just
been
like
to
that.
some event in the warehouse. It is just the perfect
That's
venue
why my ball
for
goes.
parties,
That's why my ball
or
goes right.
special
because I'm
events, or
here,
whatever's
and
going
now I
on.
got to get back in
And
here.
again, what can I
as
tell you about
opposed
the
to being
restaurant?
here and just being there from the get-go.
I mean, my favorites personally,
here.
Thursdays. The
Yeah, with
salmon,
the elbow
candy
tight
coated salmon is
and
just
this arm
unbelievable.
straight and back
They've added
here
so
where
many
the club
different new
head
dishes to
is
the restaurant. It is
as
absolutely
opposed to
incredible.
here. You
And
look
of
at the
course, it's
video,
an absolute fashion
and
show
my
on the
club
weekends.
is
Where would you rather
directly
be?
over
It's
my
a place to
freaking
be on a
head.
Friday or a Saturday
That's so out of
afternoon.
position.
And again, if you're having
Not too
any
close.
kind of party, it's a great venue in the warehouse. Where would you rather be? In the
Can we get rid of the
capable
disclaimer
hands
now?
of Gino Valpredo's incredible staff at Luigi's Restaurant
Yeah, the
and
baby blue
Old
looks
World
really feminine.
Delicatessen.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here for King Door Company.
does.
I
It
had
looks
my
really
garage door installed over 20 years ago and it still works like the
look
day it
better
was
on-
installed.
on-
So
on
I know
phone.
all about King Door's quality
darker.
products. But let's talk service. At King
Yes.
Door Company, it's an obsession.
Just
Whether
look at
you're
this.
having your garage door installed, serviced, or repaired, you can count on
looks
King Door
feminine.
Company to do it right. And it all starts with training. All King Door techs have been through the King Door Academy, an on-site training center
The sailor said, you're a fine girl, what a good wife you would be. Heading to the back half of the hour. Hang on, Michael. Heading into the back half of the hour, talking money with Daniel Petrie. And then the 5, we'll talk about Child Protective Services, and where you can go meet a consulting firm and give them your input on Child Protective Services. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. Don't go anywhere.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. military has widened its efforts beyond the blockade of Iran's ports, allowing its forces around the world to stop any ship tied to Tehran or those suspected of carrying supplies that could help its government. General Dan Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said Thursday that the U.S. will be targeting vessels in other areas like the Pacific that had left before the blockade began earlier this week. A 10-day ceasefire announced by President Trump and agreed on by Lebanon and Israel has started. Barrages of gunshots rang out across Beirut early Friday as residents fired into the air to celebrate the beginning of the truce. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 115 points, the Nasdaq rose 86, the S&P advanced 18. More details at srnnews.com.
It's a boarding school.
It's a boarding school. He's living there.
Oh, yes, the boys.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. Headlines from the KERN newsroom.
Yeah, he's rolling.
I'm Chris Davis. The killing of a 60-year-old man inside a Taylor Street apartment is being investigated by Bakersfield homicide detectives. They say that happened Wednesday morning about 6:15 when police got a call about a medical emergency. The man's body was found when they arrived, and they determined he had been assaulted. No arrests have been announced. Noah Lee Elizabeth Ruiz has been granted a mental health diversion and may not have to do any prison time. Police say she came at them with a knife last year and was shot by an officer at the Walmart on Gosford Road. Bakersfield police say they investigated 2 killings last month, and crime statistics they released this week. They also looked into 8 sexual assaults and 44 robberies in March. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Most
life, plan for what's ahead, and make decisions with confidence, whether retirement is around the corner or still years away. And now you'll find us in a new place, the historic Woolworths building, right in the heart of downtown Bakersfield. A piece of local history reimagined for what's next. MoneyWise, thoughtful planning, real conversations. Visit moneywiseguys.com to get started.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through LPL Financial. LPL Financial and MoneyWise Wealth Management are independently owned and operated.
Are you looking for a hospital that truly cares for your health and well-being? At Good Samaritan Hospital, they provide high-quality medical detox, psychiatric services, and medical and surgical care. They accept most insurances, including Medi-Cal, Medicare, and Kern Family. They offer Kern County's longest-standing inpatient detox program with dual diagnosis that combines medical care and withdrawal management all under one roof. Learn more at GoodSamaritanHospital.com or call 661-215-7500. Good Samaritan Hospital. They care for their community.
First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, we'll chat with local super attorney Matt Clark about this Uber bill that they're working on. We have the latest on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, our adventures in the Strait of Hormuz, news, traffic, weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 and streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230.
Explain why they wanted to hear the repeat. It's a Thursday. Time to head at 21st and Oak, the offices of Best Maker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. You know, your name came up in the car last night.
Uh-oh.
Well, yeah, no, not in a bad way. What's the matter with you?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I was traveling with 3 Taft boys. Ron Mucalis. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. Scotty G and Mr. Parent. And somehow your name came up, and they're like, "Isn't he a Taft guy?" And they're like, "Yeah, he is. Aren't you a Taft guy?"
Yes. I'm sure they knew my siblings.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
I mean, how doesn't anybody in Taft know you got damn 14 siblings?
Yeah, and some of my, I shouldn't say many of us were smart, but some of my siblings were very scholarly, meaning they applied themselves in school. I was able to get good grades just kind of being there. And
nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I got bad grades, but I certainly didn't apply myself like they did. But we had a reputation because of my siblings, and that made it a little bit, in some ways easy, in some ways more difficult.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Did you work for Mike Parent's dad at Chevron?
You know, I did not. Now, my dad spent many, many years at Chevron and retired from Chevron.
Yeah.
And when I was a young lad, every once in a while, I'd go out with him when he worked overtime on the weekends or something. But I never worked for Chevron.
Yeah, Mike thought you might have. He was just
I
guessing.
did work out in the oil fields one summer, but it was for another company. There'd be a lot of small independents that oil companies would hire to do work, and I worked for one of the independents.
Well, that's why I had to yell at Kathy, because they were all excited to hear Dave Knorr. He's a great guy. Is he the former mayor, or is he still the mayor? I know he's a long-time mayor. I don't know if he's still the mayor, but he's a great guy, great interview. I think Kathy calls him in every time she hosts. And I lied to the guys and said, well, just go on YouTube and go listen to it again. And she didn't use YouTube. But yeah, Dave Knorr is a good guy, really good guy.
Taft, I haven't been over there in a long time.
Neither have I. I covered it for a while. For some reason, it was my beat when I was doing TV. I did some couple of education stories out there. I did the story where they were talking about the hospital. They were trying to get a hospital. They didn't have medical services. And I used to play out there. I used to play Buena Vista all the time. It's a neat track.
Yes.
It's a different track. It's a really different layout. Like the first hole goes straight uphill.
Yeah.
Then the second hole goes straight downhill. It's a par 3, and
a lot of good people played out there.
Yeah, I used to play out there all the time. The Sorensens run that. In fact, it's a tragic story. He lost his wife. One of the brothers who runs that golf course lost his wife. I think, and I shouldn't mess around with this because it's a tragedy, but I think she was leaving the golf course and got into an automobile accident, was murdered, was killed. That was a horrible story. Beautiful woman, and just a really nice bunch of brothers, the Sorensens.
You know, I always wondered, coming out of that park where the golf course was, always seemed dangerous.
Yes.
Because people are flying.
Yes. I know exactly where you're talking about.
I didn't like that.
I didn't either, because they're doing like 65 as you're trying to make that. Yeah.
And so if you pull out slow or missing around or don't see anybody, they could just
T-bone you. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that I never liked that.
Yeah. Well, you were well thought of. Your family was well thought of. They all had kind things to say about you and your your softball team.
Yeah, that's
family.
right.
But,
isn't that funny? I mean,
God,
it's
God bless your mother. Good Lord Almighty.
She was a mighty woman.
She had to be.
She was a little fireball, that one. Yeah,
I guess so.
It's funny because she was as kind. She had two sides to her. She was.
Oh, don't they all?
And that, yes, every mother does.
Every woman.
But on the other side was, we made mother mad.
Yep.
It's not good.
Yep.
Yeah, she was feisty.
What's the difference between your oldest brother and you, or oldest sibling and you?
Yeah, that would be my oldest sister.
Yeah.
16 years different.
Wow.
In fact.
So she's dealing with teenagers and you're born and an infant.
When she was giving birth to me,
yeah,
her roommate in the maternity, who was also giving birth, was younger than my sister. Isn't that something?
That is something. That really,
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
That really, really is.
And that oldest sister was, oh my gosh, she still tells everybody what to do because she helped raise them all.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I helped raise my youngest sister. She's 10 years. We're 10 years. She passed away. We're 10 years apart. And that's why I balk back at everybody who says, you've never raised a child. I didn't raise her, but I changed a lot of diapers. I did a lot of babysitting. I taught my sister how to walk. You can ask my mother that. I absolutely taught her how to walk. I put her up against the wall and let her lean up against the wall. And then I would slowly walk away and she'd fall. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. Let's try it again. And we did that for about a half an hour. And by the end of the half hour, she could reach me about 5 yards away before she'd collapse in my arms.
I haven't thought about that, but that's a wonderful experience for a young.
It is.
I mean, you learn
10, 11 years old. Yes, I really did. As 11.
The same way I think it's important to work when you're young.
Yep.
Because you learn so much from different skills, how to deal with people, different bosses.
Yes.
It's important.
It really is. It really is.
And a lot of that isn't done anymore. I mean, people don't have as many children. You know, a lot of times the parents, they don't force their kids to work.
Well, yeah, exactly. The rich parents really don't pressure their kids to go to work during the summers. At least that was my life experience. Because Eddie Murphy has a bit where he goes to a white house with his white friend and he basically curses out his mother and he freaks out. Well, I went through the same thing. When I found out that my little rich private school friends didn't have to work during the summer, I was like, what? So what do you do for like 2.5, 3 months? After you visit the grandparents, which we did every summer for like 2 or 3 weeks, what are you doing then? Oh, we go to camp. I go to Gold Arrow camp for a month and I go this. And I'm like, I'm in a veterinarian's office dragging dogs to their death.
Oh, it was foreign to me. I remember high school. Oh, we're going on a senior trip. I'm like, well, we're going to Hawaii, and I'm like, how in the heck can you afford that?
Yeah.
And Petrie, are you going? I'm like, no. I mean, what do you expect?
My parents, I worked
what
every summer to 6th grade to like 11th grade, and my dad did not let me work that summer because I was changing schools and I was trying to get in shape for football, and he let me rest that summer and that's the only summer I didn't work. And then the CIA came in and said the CIF came in and said I could not play because I had transferred schools. But that's the only summer I didn't work in high school.
I had
my junior year.
Paper route at 10 when I started.
Wow, you beat
and
me.
I've been working ever since. Now, I didn't get to play. I was very good at sports when I was younger. All-stars, 9, 10, 11. But as soon as I got a little older, because I played with my brothers, right? So that made me a good athlete. But
you must have been a big kid. What are you, 6 feet, 6'1"?
Yeah, I'm 6 feet, but I didn't have a ton of athletic ability. But I was a good athlete.
Well, you're white. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm kidding. I am kidding, everybody. Just relax. Everybody relax.
Everybody else caught up to me, like, their bodies caught up to. Anyway, I didn't get to play when I was in high school, but when I played as a young adult, I played fast pitch, slow pitch. And my parents asked me, and I thought this was very kind of them, do you regret not being able to play in high school? Because they saw that I was very good.
It was the joy of my childhood.
Yeah, well, and I did, but I didn't really tell them that I kind of semi-weaseled my way through an answer. I didn't want to make them feel bad, but I thought it was nice of them just to recognize.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, we force you to work when you don't, you didn't get the joy of playing sports, but we didn't know you were. I mean, they had to know I was good when I was younger. But
right. My only regret about playing sports, my parents rarely saw me play.
Yeah, your dad was working all the time.
My dad was working all the time, and my mother, I didn't live in the neighborhood where I went to school, and my mother wasn't going all the way out to the valley. And then when we transferred to Brentwood, she just was dealing with Tina and just never. She saw me. My mother saw me play basketball once. Ironically, at the old school that I left, Brentwood played Buckley in a tournament, and my mother came to that game. It's the only time she ever saw me play basketball. My dad saw me play baseball twice with my Uncle Irvin, and he was our team physician my 9th grade year, and I had to lie to him to get him to do that. And that's the only time he ever saw me play football.
You know what was neat? My parents, when I played as a young adult in fast men's leagues, they would come watch me play.
Really? See, that's neat. That's neat.
Yeah, I really, it was cool. I mean, I didn't really tell them that necessarily, but I thought that was kind of fun. There's mom and dad sitting in the stands watching their youngest play.
I did not have that experience. I really didn't. I really did. In fact, my dad went out of his way to dissuade me from being an athlete because he knew I didn't have the skills, and I thought I did. I thought I did because I was dominating these rich white kids. And then I went to Morehouse and found out, no, Ralph, you're really not an athlete. You're really, really not.
Yeah.
Not a good one, at least.
I had a sister above me who played high school sports, but the brother that was 5 years older than I was, who I ran around with, his friends, that's where I played. Like if they're playing out in the football in the street or up at the high school, I'd go with them, and that it was good for me.
Yeah, that's why I was delusional that I was a good athlete, because the kids in my neighborhood were all older than I was, and I could hang with them, you know, in the driveway or up at the school playing basketball.
That's the first clue.
Yeah, because Brian Williams was a great athlete. That's why I say if I had gone to Inglewood High School where I was supposed to go, I'd have never, ever played, because Brian Williams was the best basketball player in our neighborhood, and he couldn't make the team at Inglewood High School.
That's why I think if you have a girl who is very good, have her play with the boys.
Yeah.
As long, if she wants to.
Yeah.
That'll make her even better.
Absolutely. We must stop, Mr. Petrie, and talk a little bit about money on this Thursday.
Kind of fun stuff. I don't mind being a little nostalgic.
I don't either. I love talking about my youth, man. It's the best period of my life, which is sad, but true.
And it's different. I feel bad for kids. It's different. The world is different.
It is.
And they not only do they miss out, they didn't experience it. It's I know, it's just sad.
There's a great statement that I've saved on here. I'm not going to look for it now because we got to get going, but where it's basically somebody in the 20th century, and they're like, I loved my childhood. I loved drinking out of the hose. I loved getting on our bikes and going as far as we could,
building a fort,
as long as we were home before the street lights came on, building forts, playing in the gutter, climbing trees. Just
throwing a stick in the gutter and seeing which one would go fastest. I mean,
the great gutter races. Everybody did it.
That would take up half an hour, and you weren't doing anything.
Running down the street, following the gutter. Do you know what my ship was?
No.
I always used a popsicle stick.
Oh yeah.
And then I would curl the back of the stick as like a foil or something. I don't know, just to make it look kind of cool.
Break off a twig and cross my fingers.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's been a big week in Iran, and the president swears we've got a deal. He swears the Iranians are going to turn up their uranium for us.
It's very hard to hear the news and know what's going on, but follow the money.
Yeah.
And the market seems to think that it's pretty much done.
Well, if he's telling the truth, which I am very skeptical of, but if he's telling the truth and they're willing to negotiate, even if they're not telling the truth, at least politically, he can get out of this thing. And if he gets out of this thing, we got a chance in the midterms. We got a chance in 29.
Yeah.
But if this thing is an abject failure, you can forget about it.
It's over.
It's over.
I agree. I agree with your assessment. If I'd have told you in January if what was going to unfolded, and on April 16th the S&P would be up almost 3% for the year, you'd think I was crazy.
Absolutely nuts.
But that's what's happened.
How is that?
Well, I think the market is starting. You know how the market looks forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the market is telling you it's over. Although it seems almost improbable to believe based on what's occurred. And logically, it's like, well, Iran won't negotiate at all. But
right.
It's weird. But the market's telling you it's over.
You buy the fact that they're going to turn over their uranium and they're going to stop their nuclear desires?
I don't know what to believe. No, but I mean, what choice do they have?
They really don't. I mean,
I do agree with the idea to if punishing them by death doesn't do anything, then take their money away.
Exactly.
The blockade. I think that's a wise move.
I thought it was 257 million a day. I heard today it's over 415 million dollars a day.
Whatever it is, it's got to hurt.
It's got to be killing them. That's how they finance terrorism.
Exactly.
That's how they finance the whole IRGC.
Yeah, and you're basically squeezing the well dry, and that hurts Hezbollah, and it hurts the Houthis, and it hurts whoever else. So
he also said that Hezbollah is going to the negotiating tables, that the Lebanese will handle that, and that Israel and Lebanon will come to an agreement.
I did hear that Lebanon and Israel have a ceasefire.
They do.
While they discuss. So
that is
very
that's a huge. Yeah, it is. It really is. And you know, he may pull this off.
Yeah, and Lebanon will deal with Israel. It's those terrorists that won't. So.
And the fact that they house them and kind of protect them.
Yeah, I mean, it gets murky there. And then, of course, depending on who you believe.
Yeah. I'm running out of time. Let's take our weekly look at the deficit in silver and gold.
Yeah, deficit, again, a little over 29 billion. It's up over 139, trillion, 126 billion. It's going up. Nothing earth-shattering there. I can't imagine us not spending money considering how much we spent on the war.
Yeah, and he wants more.
Trump likes to spend money.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. Gold was up for the week. It seems like it was not a lot. It's at just under 4,800.
Okay, that's good. That's good news.
Silver's just under 79. It was up a little better, up over 4% for the week.
That's a significant jump.
So yeah, those seem to be moving. And futures, again, overnight, talking about the good news and the market starting to price in good news. The futures are mixed. The Dow and S&P are up, and the NASDAQ is slightly down.
Because nobody really knows what to make of what the president said today.
No, for a long while there, it was, oh my gosh, news report, wild swings both directions depending on what developed.
Yeah.
But I don't, something has to give. I mean, either Trump says, okay, enough of this nonsense, or we didn't get what we wanted, so we're going to make it, and you have another week of intense. Well, it's going to end one way or the other.
Yeah, the big test will be when this deadline ends at the end of the week. And does he do the Trump, which is to back it up again, or is there a deal, or does the bombardment begin again? That's what there are three choices. Either we get a deal, the bombardment starts, or he once again does the Trump and delays the deadline.
Delays, and we work and we negotiate more. Question for you.
Yeah. Yes.
We'll be quick. California. Aren't the two top vote getters the ones who run?
Yes. And the Republican, as has been the case throughout every single poll since the beginning of this race, Bianco and Hilton are still atop of the leaderboard. And as I was just discussing about a half an hour ago, I think we're going to get them across the goal line.
I saw a poll today where Bianco was in third and
tied for second. Tied for second with Steyer. With Steyer at 14.
Picking up the guy who dropped out, picking up his
Swalwell's, who is going to jail. It is. It's going to be a fun race. It is.
Yeah, I agree.
Always
Who's
good.
Your man so far, or have you yet to decide?
I have yet to decide. Yeah. I think Hilton is going to win. I think he's going to be the leading vote getter, but we need Bianco to get in there to assure us a Republican.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hilton is a little stronger candidate than Bianco, but I like Chad Bianco. He's a good guy. I've talked to him twice.
Okay, good to know.
All right, sir. Have a wonderful weekend.
Have a chatting with you.
We'll see you next Thursday.
Okay, boss.
Thank you, sir. Daniel Petrie, Taft Boy. Quick timeout. Coming right back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on Thursday, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. Streaming live at KernRadio.com.
Kern Radio.
Messmaker.
30 KERN. Trucordia, a new name but a trusted partner for Kern County businesses. At Trucordia, we provide business solutions that include comprehensive commercial insurance and proactive risk strategies to help protect your company and keep operations running smoothly. We also offer benefit solutions with flexible options for both businesses and individuals, supported by easy online tools and hands-on local service that makes everything simpler. For guidance you can count on, call Don Coons at 661-401-2280. Trucordia, building trust.
Oh, shit. I hope you were just with us when Daniel Petrie from Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors really broke down why he is such an important cog on this broadcast. Daniel is a great communicator because, as you just heard, we spent about 15 minutes just talking about his childhood and his family. And then we get to the business where he explains how we basically get in the hole about $29 billion each and every week with the deficit. We're at almost $40 trillion in debt. And of course, we talk about gold and silver. They're doing well, which is always good for those of us that are investing with Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors, as I have for the last 10 years. And as I've said, it's the smartest financial move I have ever made in my life. Call Daniel at 395-9400, 395-9400. Office located right on the corner of 21st and Oak.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice or a solicitation for advisory services by Daniel Petrie or MPWA Incorporated, DBA, Messmaker, and Petrie Wealth Advisors. The program host is a client and receives compensation and other financial benefits in connection with this advertisement, creating a conflict of interest. Experiences discussed may not be representative of other clients.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Look up in the sky. Yeah, that's what they cry. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's them. It's Paul Sheldon's team, that well-oiled machine of Christine, Kelly, and Lynn. Okay, not superpowers, but still thousands of hours deciphering Medicare's whims, fighting the good fight, learning what works right. Christine, Kelly, and Lynn. So it might seem old-fashioned, but hard work with passion most often gives you the win. And the trio that knows are those Medicare pros, Christine, Kelly, and Lynn. You know, actually to many, they are superheroes. Christine, Kelly, and Lynn.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, live at 9 a.m. Now back to the Ralph.
I was going to say, I don't think that's in the movie The Graduate, which is what the song is all about.
Right.
Dustin Hoffman is a young graduate who comes home and has an affair with his mother's friend, Mrs. Robinson. The classic line, Mrs. Robinson, I think you're trying to seduce me. I got a great family story, but I just can't even tell it. Can I tell it? How much time we got?
40 seconds.
In my late 20s, I had a Mrs. Robinson. I'll be appropriate and just leave it at that. And I can tell you honestly, to this day, it's one of the greatest experiences of my life. Because I'm a despicable, degenerate human being. I really am.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN, 96.1 FM, K241CI Bakersfield, an American General Media
Here's
station.
to you, Mrs. Robinson.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. military has widened its efforts beyond the blockades of
Hey, what are you up to?
Reports.
The Pentagon says it's allowing its forces around the world to stop any ship tied to Iran, those suspected of carrying supplies that could help its government. Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane says the U.S. would be targeting vessels in other areas, like the Pacific, that had left before the blockade began earlier this week. The military also detailed a long list of goods it considers contraband, declaring that it will board, search, and seize them from merchant vessels regardless of location. Greg Clugston, Washington.
A 10-day ceasefire announced by President Trump and agreed on by Lebanon and Israel has started. Barrages of gunshots rang out across Beirut early Friday as residents fired into the air to celebrate the beginning of the truce. The Artemis II astronauts react to their return to Earth.
Commander Reed Weissman says the crew is still trying to decompress.
It's very hard to fully grasp what we just went through.
He says on the ride back to Earth, the heat shield held up. Pilot Victor Glover enjoyed the release of parachutes before splashdown.
If you dove off a skyscraper backwards, that's what it felt like.
Astronaut Christina Cook says she's not a person who likes attention, but realized this trip around the moon produced a lot.
We've done this together. We took your hearts with us, and your hearts lifted our hearts.
NASA is already working on Artemis 3 for next year. I'm Ed Donahue.
On Wall Street, the Dow up by 115 points. The NASDAQ rose 86. The S&P 500 advanced 18, and oil near $94 a barrel. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Advantage Gold, America's #1 precious metals company, is sounding the alarm that a storm is coming and that now is the time to diversify your portfolio before it's too late. That's why we're offering an emergency gold and silver protection kit valued at $49, absolutely free for anyone who calls today at 800-900-8000. This kit includes critical information for investors with a retirement account seeking to own physical gold and silver, but want to do it tax and penalty free. Advantage Gold has helped investors protect and secure their wealth with physical gold and silver since 2014. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 and we'll rush your emergency gold and silver kit plus a free copy of Ken Rogoff's book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. See how gold and silver can help you protect and secure your wealth with the help of Advantage Gold. Results vary. Consult your tax advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
That's pretty good.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update.
Did you guys throw the ball?
A man killed on Taylor Street. I'm Chris Davis. No arrests have been announced yet in the killing of a man whose body was found inside an apartment on Taylor Street Wednesday morning. That's just south of Stockdale Highway and just east of New Stein Road. Bakersfield PD says they got the call at 6:15 a.m. about a medical episode in the apartment. But when they got there, they determined that the man was a victim of an assault. And now they are investigating that as a homicide, they say. In the attempted murder of two people in Taft that happened back on September 17th, 2024, Norley Elizabeth Ruiz was convicted Wednesday of both attempted murder and arson. The jury convicted her of setting fire to a two-story apartment building on Adams Street in Taft, forcing her ex and his uncle to have to jump out of the building to get away from the fire. She had pitched a brick at her boyfriend earlier that day, say police. Ruiz could get 13 years when she is sentenced May 12th. Deschanay Holmes was shot by a Bakersfield police officer in an incident at the Walmart on Gosford Road last July when prosecutors say she had assaulted someone inside the store, then lunged at cops with a knife when they got there to handle the situation. Now a judge has granted her a mental health diversion. which means if she successfully completes the program, she will not be facing any prison time. If someone buys alcohol from minors, they can face a fine. If a store clerk sells booze to a minor knowingly, they risk the liquor license for the store where they work. Police in Delano and officers with alcoholic beverage control say they arrested 4 people over the weekend.
Kessler.
That person faces a possible fine and community service if convicted. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Coming to the rest world in a month from now, this Hollywood big shot's gonna give you what you want. Too late. They start shooting in a week. I'm gonna make them an offer they can't refuse.
The Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the broadcast on this Thursday, 16th day of April. The birth date of one Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's still with us, not in great health. He was at Dodger Stadium a year ago for Jackie Robinson Day. He is a graduate of UCLA, and as I told you at the top of the show, Jackie was on his way to graduate, but his last semester he quit to play football, or to originally play football, and but you couldn't make any money playing football because that was his best sport, believe it or not. He was the best running back in all of college football when he was at UCLA, and he was a track star. I've told you how his brother Mac he won the silver medal. He lost the gold medal to Jesse Owens in Berlin, 1936, I believe, or Munich. Is it Munich or Berlin? I'm so tired of this memory of mine. I really am. I don't even know what the capital of Germany is. I'm going to say it is Berlin. It's Berlin. But I think the games were in Munich. I'm pretty sure the games were in Munich. But I do believe the capital is Berlin.
The capital is Berlin.
But the games were in Munich.
If I remember correctly, yes. I believe they were in...
Hey, Siri, where were the 1936 Olympics?
Berlin, 1936.
Oh, they were in Berlin. They were in Berlin. Well, that's where, Hitler refused to shake Jesse's hand. But anyway, back to the Robinson family. Mac lost to Jesse Owens by like a hair. And as I've always talked about, sadly, came back to Pasadena with a silver medal and swept streets in the city of Pasadena. Same story with Muhammad Ali. You talk to Muhammad Ali and he tells you the story about, can't talk to me anymore, but he used to tell the story about how he came back to Louisville with his gold medal. He was the light heavyweight champion. It's a great trivia question. Everybody thinks that he was the heavyweight champion. No, he was a kid. He was like 19 years old. He was a light heavyweight. And he won the gold medal, and he was so proud, and he thought he could wear his gold medal into a white restaurant and get fed, and they wouldn't feed him. He said, we don't feed Negroes. We don't serve, no, they said, we don't serve Negroes. And Ali's line, I'm not sure if he actually said that day, but his line, whenever he'd be asked about it, was, well, I don't eat Negroes either, so you don't have to worry about serving Negroes. Just serve me a hamburger. Which is a pretty good line, actually. Who you got?
Coach Kessler's on the line for you.
Oh, I wonder what he wants to talk about. What's going on, Coach?
RB, what the heck is happening, man?
What's really going on?
Not too much. Just enjoying this weather and got to play golf last weekend, a Culver's deal. When are you going to play that with us?
I don't know. George doesn't invite me. He was at our golf tournament, and I would have loved to have taken the day off and been out there. Cody played, and a bunch of different athletes were out there.
A bunch of guys out there. Charlie Huff played, brother.
Charlie Huff, the knuckleballer.
Bill Russell was out there. I mean, it was, yes.
I don't understand. George loves me, but
I know.
He died.
I don't know. We're making sure you're getting in it next year. You playing our foursome. I played with O'Nixon and this other guy named Bill Solon, and we had a good time.
Good.
We had a great time.
Good. What are you going to
By the way, just on another topic, I don't know. I just thought about this. I don't know what you talked about. I'm not sure, but my son did get accepted to Stanford as well, and he did not carry a C, just average. I didn't know if you were talking about that. I think you asked me about that one other time or something.
I wasn't talking about Cody when I said a bunch of C students got in and their parents to get them in. I was talking about the kids that I went to high school with.
I know, Coach. I love ribbon. I love talking to you, man.
I'm telling you, I can name you 4 people that were had like a C 2.0 GPA that all went to SC. Kim Rooney, Danny Hilton, who's part of the Hilton family.
Yeah, that's the difference with pop. But remember when you and I, because I think you're only a year older than me. Remember back in those days, you could go into college I think it was a Prop 49. You'll probably remember. You could go in on academic probation. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I mean, that was, and then I don't know when they got rid of it, but I remember those days. You could go in on academic probation. Then they stopped doing that, and it just, oh, wait a minute, kids got to go to school and study this time. Now they don't have to.
Yeah.
They can't just get into any school they want to get into.
And they put the mandatory SAT scores there for the athletes, and lot changed in the 80s. You're right.
Well, the cool thing about it too is in high school, I love the part that you can take college prep or you can take AP, and all colleges recognize both. The only difference in college prep and AP is AP has about 7 hours of homework a night, and college prep gets you ready for college. They have homework, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As an athlete. And so I like some of the things they've done for sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, one of the things I love is BC, being able to go to BC and get into a 4-year university, right? I think you were talking about that, or getting in classes or something in high school.
Yeah. They have a dual immersion program where you as a junior or a senior can take credits. You can graduate. And again, I'm sure their family's tired of me doing this, but I use T. Johnson's family as an example because her daughter graduated with essentially almost an AA. She graduated from high school almost done with her AA.
When do you think they started that? They didn't start that it hasn't been around 10 years, has it?
No, not at all. I was going to guess 5, 6 years. And it's just
what a great deal.
Absolutely.
I mean, it really
absolutely. Saves the family money, saves the student time.
Yeah.
And just, it's an outstanding program.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's cool. But hey, I won't take up any more time, RB. I need to get out on the course with you.
Yeah, man.
Free time right now, and love calling in and talking to you guys.
I appreciate it, Coach. Always good to hear from you. All right, take care.
Take care.
You
All
too.
right, man. Bye-bye.
Don Kessler, father of Cody Kessler, SC star, still holds the record at SC for, what's the record? Most touchdowns? What, he had 6 one afternoon?
Cody, yeah.
6 or 7 touchdown passes.
Game, I believe.
Yeah, and had a decent career. I mean, of all the positions to have to try to play in the National Football League, the most difficult is either quarterback or cornerback. It's not even close. It's not even close. If you're a good running back, you're a good running back. You can run, you can, move, you're fast, but quarterback takes leadership, patience, timing, size. There's just so many elements to being a good quarterback other than just chucking the ball, because if that were true, Ryan Leaf would have been a superstar. But he was a head case. He had a shotgun of an arm. Jamarcus Russell had a shotgun of an arm. It's not just based on your talent. It's one of the few positions in sport where who you are will determine how far you go. And I think that is why Cody was so successful, because he's a brilliant kid, and that's part of the element of being a quarterback. And that's why, as much as I used to trash Derek, I would always try to postscript my criticism of Derek by saying, but let's face it, he's one of 32 men playing quarterback in the National Football League. And if you've never played football or even followed football closely, you have no idea what an accomplishment that is. And for Cody to come out of Centennial and get to SC and thrive at SC and play for Philly and all the clubs that he played for, even for the short period of time, you just don't have any idea how much talent and character and discipline and hard work that goes into that. And it's just, it is awesome. It really is. And Cody's got two great parents. And, I don't mean to harp on this, but it just goes back. If you look at most of the overwhelming majority of great athletes, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Cody Kessler, they all have something in common. What is it, Chris? You weren't even paying attention. Forget it. Two-parent homes. Two-parent homes. Every one of those athletes that I came from have a two-parent home, and they always allude to their father and their mother for getting them where they are. I was telling the guys in the car last night a great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar story. Do you remember the massacre on Memorial Day when we were opening up the series against the Celtics the year that we returned the favor and beat them? They beat us in '84 when they called Magic tragic, when Magic was held the ball and didn't even lob it into Kareem, and the 24-second clock went off. We didn't even get a shot. And with 19 seconds left, Bird hit a fadeaway on Magic to basically win the ball game because we got the ball back and didn't score, and they beat us. No, I'm mixing up two games. Forget what I just said. I'm mixing up two games. I'm actually mixing up two games. It's the Massacre of Memorial where they beat us by like 35 points. And Magic tells the story that nobody, they're in Boston, nobody gets on the bus. Nobody. No wives, no siblings, nobody gets on the bus. And they're waiting, and Cap ain't here yet. It's Kareem. And Magic says, I look out the window and I see Kareem running with his dad to the bus. And I kind of look at Coop like, oh, this is going to be rich. Wait till Riley tells him, your daddy can't get on his bus. And they come up and they have a little conversation with Pat. Pat kind of waves them forward, and the dad rode on the bus. And it was something that Kareem needed because Kareem got down that night. After they got beat by 35, Kareem got wore out. He had like 11 points, 3 rebounds. He got wore out by Robert Parrish, by the Chief. And just the presence of his dad, at least that's what Magic was implying. Because the very next night with his dad on the bus, he had 37 points, 16 rebounds, and 5 assists. And then we went on and won that series in '85. In fact, I think we beat him there. I think we beat him on the parquet floor. Quick timeout. We come back. We'll get into what Child Protective Services is up to and how you can have some input on the future of how we protect our children. I'll explain after the break. Plus, there's a horrible story coming out of the Commonwealth of Virginia where the former lieutenant governor shot his wife violently and then went upstairs with his teenagers in the house and ate the gun. I'll break that down for you. And here locally, Vincent De Leon is going away for a very long time. He put a gun to a girl coming out of In Shape out on Coffee Road, raped her, took her on a shopping spree for him with her card. He's seen at the store buying clothes. He's seen at the ATM. Well, Cynthia Zimmer was the lead prosecutor, our DA, and she got a win, and he's going away for a very, very long time. Quick time out. We're coming right back on a Thursday. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, streaming live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio. News.
Casey.
KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, mornings 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, we'll chat with local super attorney Matt Clark about this Uber bill that they're working on. We have the latest on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, our adventures in the Strait of Hormuz, news, traffic, weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 and streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Meeting a friend at Casey's Steakhouse tonight. I'm very, very excited. It's always fun to go see the ladies at Casey's Steakhouse. It's just an incredible staff. You know, I rarely talk about the staff. That's one of the components that makes Casey's Steakhouse one of the most popular restaurants in our community. Liz and all the ladies there, just outstanding. They treat you like family. Haley is in the stockyard next door making craft cocktails. You can have dinner in there. I've told you about the incredible banquet room that Cassie has created. It's been an absolute game changer. It's basically been what the Warehouse has been to Gino Valpredo and the Luigi's. The speakeasy like bar next door to Casey's Steakhouse has been that for Cassie Biddle. Absolute game changer. Where Kathy Abernathy uses it for election parties. I know a lot of the hospital people use it for luncheons. It's just a great venue. It's a beautiful room. And again, you can still have dinner on there, and they're providing live music Thursday, Fridays, and Saturday nights. And as I always remind you, Bobby and Jimmy are providing live music in the main restaurant Tuesday through Saturday. Where would you rather be than on F Street in the capable hands of Cassie Biddle's incredible staff at Casey's Steakhouse, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show?
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Dr. Roland Rodriguez.
Hello, this is Bakersfield General Surgeon Dr. Roland Rodriguez, client and friend of Mr. Paul Sheldon. It is my great pleasure and privilege to relate to all of you my absolute exemplary experience with Team Paul Sheldon. I have also referred a number of my colleagues to Paul Sheldon's office, only to receive the most stellar feedback from my doctor friends regarding the office's expert navigation through the complex maze that is Medicare. And even though Paul Sheldon himself is now facing some temporary health challenges, his longstanding and most experienced and expertly trained team of ladies, Christine, Kelly, and Lynn, continue to masterfully guide the clients through the complicated world of Medicare. You most definitely could not possibly do any better than to reach out to Paul Sheldon several months before turning 65. Thank you.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398.
Okay, look at this.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights,
where her
mind
club is
racing,
going?
wondering if your business's security
that
service
angle?
is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert.
See that?
Bay Alarm. We got
Over
you.
my freaking head.
It's the final home
As
game of the
opposed to
regular
back
season
in
on
here.
Friday for the Bakersfield Condors as the team
Yeah,
hosts
I'm like
Fan
here, and then
Appreciation
I'm
Night, presented by
athletic
Dignity
enough
Health
I
and
can
23
square it
ABC.
up.
There are thousands
But
of
instead
prizes
of
to win
hitting it
in our mystery
160 yards, I'm
scratchers,
hitting it
including jerseys,
145
merchandise, gift cards, memorabilia, and more. The playoffs start next week. Get a playoff pass and save money. Friday is the final home
I know,
game,
I
and
bought
it's
'em
Fan
cold.
Appreciation
I bought 'em
Night.
from
Doors
that
open
dead
at 6.
guy.
The puck drops at 7. Fun starts at just $15 at condorstown.com
Or maybe
or by
just
calling
stand closer to
324
the ball,
Podcast.
where I'm more like this, and I
You're
can
listening to
just
the
get
Ralph
it back
Bailey Show.
here,
Catch me weekday
as
morning
opposed
6
to-
to 9.
He used to have his, do you know this? He used to put a sandbox underneath his piano so that he could feel like he was at the beach.
I've seen and heard that before. I think they showed that in the movie.
Did they?
I think so.
I haven't seen the movie.
Paul Dano plays him, I believe.
Oh, yeah?
Paul Dano, however you want to pronounce it.
What's it called? I want to see it.
Oh, give me a sec.
Yeah. In the meantime, Child Protective Services is undergoing a independent review. I think the Mata case, the Genesis Mata case, which still has not been adjudicated, where Ray Mata and Gabrielle Bustamante are going to go away for a very long time. I think it's an open and shut case. I hope I'm not wrong. But I think that's what really, really stirred this, despite the fact that the folks at Child Protective Services, in fact, here's some audio. The last time we had Lena and his assistant, the female, and I can't remember her name. I apologize, but these are the two people that had DHS. And here's their self-assessment.
I'll say for my staff, they're an A. They are very passionate. They work 24 hours a day. They go through numerous training. Yes, it's a very difficult job with a lot of trauma themselves that they see But I will say the staff, the social workers in Kern County, I would grade them as an A. And I will say, though, that there's always room for improvement.
Not if you're an A. What, A plus? And then why are you spending my money for an independent review if you're so outstanding? Because you're not. That's why. And there was pressure to do something. And when you're the head of something that's failing, you have to self-assess, because if you don't, it's going to be your head that gets chopped off, because obviously you're doing something wrong. There's no other reason to bring somebody else in. For example, if Rogers Brandon came to me and said, Ralph, you need a consultant on your content, wouldn't that be essentially him saying, I don't like what you're saying on the show, and it ain't working, and we need to change it? That's the only reason you review something professionally, because it ain't working. If the Dodgers brought in a pitching consultant, that would mean that the pitching coaching staff, Dave Roberts, ain't getting it done. There is only one reason you do independent reviews. And you're right. Some of you are saying, well, Ralph, it's like checking up on your car. You don't wait till it breaks down. You continue to check on it. So why not, even if you're an A, improve or try to improve? That's a bunch of crap. That's a bunch of crap. I don't believe in coincidences. And this Mata case is gargantuan, where this young child was tortured for 3 days in a local motel and found dead in a damn bathtub. Remember, we had Lauren Skidmore on, who was head of the Open Door Network, who was in charge of that before she got whacked by Cynthia Zimmer. And she said, and her husband is a former police officer, she said this case was so egregious that veteran police officers were in tears. So don't tell me this wasn't the catalyst for us, for the county, spending our money to bring in an independent review. And what they're doing is they're having listening sessions. So yes, we're paying an outside firm to come to Kern County and tell us how to deal with our children. And the way they're going to figure out, in part, how to tell us to deal with their children is to listen to you. I mean, really? Really? That's the, and I'm not criticizing the thought. I think it's outstanding that they're willing to reach out to the community. I'm talking about here locally. And these inept people that are in charge of Child Protective Services. And she's right, it is a difficult job. And I'm assuming, I presume, I should say, that one of the reasons that they are failing, in my opinion, it's not an A, it's an F. It's an absolute F. If you've got one Genesis Mata case, you are failing. If you've got one case where an 8-year-old is ravaged, raped, tortured for 3 days in a local hotel, you are failing miserably. And to come on a radio show and say we're an A, but yet we're going to spend your money for a consultant. Am I the only one that sees just a huge discrepancy, a little hypocrisy? Talking out both sides of your mouth, we're outstanding, but we need somebody to check on us? Don't make no sense. Just don't make no sense, as Grandma Sadie Bailey used to say. And it's so important. Of all the divisions or departments to have problems with, it's the department that protects our children. That's why I constantly say we talk a really good game. Oh, we talk about our seniors. We talk about protecting our children. And yet we have a case here in Bakersfield where a child whose parents were under investigation. I buried the lead. I beg your pardon. You say, why are you so hard on CPS, Ralph? Because they had investigated Ray. They investigated this man who was about to go away forever. Thank you, Jesus. So we had to depend on the DA's office to deal with this when it should have been handled by Child Protective Services. And they just can't do it because they just either have too many burnouts or their approach is wrong. Let's hope we get something out of this consultant, but it worries me that they're leaning on us to help them help us. The listening sessions, by the way, one will be tonight at Emmanuel Lutheran Church Fellowship Hall on Baker Street from, well, it started about half an hour ago till about 7 o'clock tonight. And then another will be at the Red Roof Inn in Ridgecrest from 10 to noon. And there'll be another in Mojave at the Veterans Building from 6 to 8. I strongly suggest you provide some input.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
With SRN News, I'm
Love
Keith
it, Mercy.
Peters in Washington. The U.S. military has
the
widened
Beach
its
Boys
efforts
movie?
beyond the blockade of Iran's ports to allow its forces around the world
can I
to
see
stop
it?
any ship tied to Tehran or those suspected of carrying supplies that would help its government, from weapons to
Netflix,
oil,
maybe?
metals, and electronics. A 10-day ceasefire announced by President Trump and agreed on by Lebanon and Israel has started. The two neighboring countries held their first direct diplomatic talks in decades on Tuesday in Washington after more than a month of war between Israel and the Iran-backed Lebanon-based Hezbollah militant group. On Wall
How
Street,
long
the
do you
Dow
get
up by
to keep it?
115 points. The Nasdaq rose 86, with the S&P 500 advancing by 18. More on these stories at srnnews.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. Headlines from the KERN newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis. A man who was found dead inside an apartment on Taylor Street Wednesday morning had been the victim of an assault, says Bakersfield PD, who now has their homicide detectives on the case. They got the 911 call just after 6:15 and found the man's body. The man has not been ID'd publicly and no arrests have been announced. In the attempted murder of two people in Taft that happened back on September 17, 2024, Noelle Elizabeth Ruiz was convicted Wednesday of both attempted murder and arson. The jury says she set fire to a two-story apartment building on Adams Street in Taft, forcing her ex and his uncle to have to jump out of the building to get away from the fire. She had pitched a brick at her boyfriend earlier that day. Ruiz could get 13 years when she's sentenced in May. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
No one can beat us, no one can touch us. You won't find better prices. Shop and compare, we don't care. Take a look our way and come into
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Carpet Outlet Plus is celebrating 30 years in business by offering you no interest financing for 12 months. Head over to carpetoutletplus.com to apply now. You can get new waterproof flooring and comfy carpet in the bedrooms, all from one trusted place. Over 70,000 customers can't be wrong. It's probably been time to change your floors for a while, so call, click, or stop by today. Carpet Outlet Plus, 3.5 blocks west of 99 on Rosedale Highway.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Coming up on the Friday edition of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, we are about a week into the new Trump strategy of blockading Iran while allowing other ships through in Hormuz. Does this mean the Iran war is coming to a close? We'll talk to Kim Strassel of the Wall Street Journal about this and also give you all the latest news of the day.
Live at 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and 1230, KERN.
Tony Davis. I like this. Yeah. They hate each other. They're trying to get out of it. Don't they like lottery or something, so they have to stay together? With her Cordell. So she wants. Yeah. Oh, that's right. He tries to run her off. That's right. That's it. And then they fall in love. Yeah.
Eight 537 KER. You know what I'm doing again tonight?
Lawson's?
I think so. I really do. I know it's crazy that I eat there just about every night, but here are the advantages. It's a variety of food.
True.
I get vegetables. I get a little pasta, which I've been eating because I was all gearing up like a boxer getting ready for a fight for my blood test, and they didn't even test my A1C. I was trying to, that's why I lost like 7 or 8 pounds over the last month and a half because I was getting ready for my A1C test. So I cut out anything that would raise my A1C, which meant bread, carbs, pasta, obviously another carb, all just absolutely no sugar. Good googly moogly. Last night I had a bowl of ice cream, the Dodger ice cream, that white. So sweet. When you haven't eaten sweets a lot and you eat sweets, it's like a shock. God, it was good though, with the peanuts and the.
Why do you think I'm drinking this today?
Yeah, and the rainbow sprinkles and there's just something eating out of helmet. Something about eating out of helmet.
But it's the
takes
soft
me back
serve,
to my
man. Like
exactly.
Anywhere you go
serve,
get soft serve, it's just so much better than just traditional.
Much better. It really is. I mean, I had one little Ben and Jerry's about a month ago, but other than that, I haven't had any sweets.
I don't know what it is, man.
Yeah, that is such good ice cream. So it's a variety of foods.
Yeah.
It's organic.
Yeah.
It's a lot of chicken.
Yeah.
They throw in a rib every now and again, which is really good. I was really pissed because they had a whole rack of ribs, and I was like, I'm just going to get one little rib. Well, that was a mistake. Should have got a couple of ribs. It's tasty. And I love the walk, to be honest with you. I really do enjoy the walk. What is it, about a mile, you think?
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Yeah, it's about a mile. And I love that little mall that it's in. I walk by In Shape that I'm going to join next week. I'm on a roll. Did I mention my tax situation?
No, you did not.
That was the Tuesday that I forgot. Remember, I said Monday was the health.
Yes.
And then I couldn't remember what happened Tuesday that was so good. And Wednesday was the ball game. And today I'm having a pretty good day. But I forgot. I went and saw John Marquez. Because of my side gig, I'm in a different tax bracket, but I had him take a little bit more money out this year. I'm getting money back from federal.
Nice.
Not so fast.
It's all going to state.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm going to get $300 back, which.
Okay, that's what I look at it.
Hey, if it had been even, if I had owed the state
$1,000
and they're going to give me $1,000, I'd have been happy. As long as I don't have to pay them.
Right.
You know, and I get $300 back, I'm 300 in the black. Hey, total win.
That's a win for me too. That's why I always look at it. It's like, I don't care how little it is. Like if it's $200-300, hey, at least I don't have to pay you.
I paid the government $2,100 last year, federal $15,000 and $6,000 damn state. And again, for whatever reason, I still owe state, but I got money back from federal because I had them take more money out of my check.
Smart.
Yeah, and so that was another good thing. And John Marquez is just the best accountant in town. Marquez. I said, you get any clients from my pumping you up? And he said, man, I got so many clients, I have no idea, Ralph. And I said, I try to tell them, you heard about Marquez on 18th and Oak from Ralph Bailey. I've known John a long time. I've known his family even longer. His father was Fernando Marquez. He was an accountant as well. He taught at Bakersfield College. And when I first moved here, I started playing at Valley Grande, because it was literally on the back of a Yellow Pages. I swear to God, I found a Yellow Pages in my dad's apartment. I lived with my dad for like 2 months, and then he left and moved back home permanently because he was going back and forth. And he gave me the apartment to lure me back to college. And I didn't know what to do that summer. I had nothing to do that summer before school started, and I was going to play golf. And I was about to look up a golf course in the Yellow Pages. For Chris Burdick and the rest of his 31-year-old generation,
we had the Yellow Pages.
The Yellow Pages is a book where they had addresses and phone numbers, and you looked up things. And I mean, does that even exist today?
Yeah.
The Yellow Pages actually exist?
Well, actually, you know what?
I don't think so. I think they have. I think in the last year or two, they put the kibosh on the
I was
old
like, I
Yellow
know
Pages.
they were doing it still, though, kind of recently.
It was the Yellow Pages and there was the White Pages.
Yes.
The White Pages was for residents. Yes. Can you imagine there was a period in American history where people actually listed their address and home phone number? When you think about that, it's like crazy.
All in the same spot, too.
All in the same spot. Where you could look up Ralph Bailey and it would say 1313 Mockingbird Lane, 661-555-2929. You could just look it up, give them a call, or you could call information. Yep. Were you alive for information for 411?
411, yeah, absolutely.
Or you could call 411 and say, give me the address and name for Chris Burke. 1313 Mockingbird Lane, 661-555. And it's today? Are you kidding me?
And we all had the gall to wonder how telemarketers got our phone numbers.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. But so I found Valley Grande on the back of the phone book, and that's where I played for like 3 or 4 weeks. I remember the first time I played out there. It was 104 degrees. And I was like, big deal. I don't care. It's not that bad. I played 7 holes.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd get past 9.
Past 9? I couldn't make it back to the clubhouse. I was like, screw this. I walked off after the 7th hole, which is hard to do because you got to walk all the way back. You might as well play the last damn 2 holes. I was like, no, I was dripping wet. I hadn't acclimated. I'd just been here about a month. And I wasn't wearing a t-shirt. My shirt was sticking to me. I was it was miserable. And then I got turned on to Kern River and met Paul Guerra, met Jimmy Cisneros. That's where I met John Marquez's dad, Fernando, and his uncle Raul. And we used to have some fearsome fivesomes with the 5 of us. That's where I met Paul when he was about 15, 16. That's where I met Jimmy, who's now general manager at Motor City, what is it called? Motor City, the car dealership?
Sangera?
No.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Motor City.
No, it's just
Motor City.
GMC?
Yeah, GMC. And Fernando and Raul could not have been nicer to me. They were just really just gentlemen. And that's how I met John, his son, and that's how he became my accountant. He's been doing my taxes for 10, 12 years. They're real simple. I can do it myself. I know what you're saying. Ralph, I do my taxes myself. You don't make that much money. And I don't. And I could, but I don't. I walk over to John's place. It's walking distance from my house. And he's just a great guy. I walked into his office the other day and I said, John, normally, you remember the years when I'd be in here in February trying to get my refund, all excited. And now I'm not really happy to see you today. And he just laughed and said, wow, Ralph, it's not so bad. I was like, what? I'm even? Well, you're down 1,000. You're getting 1,000 back from federal. And I was like, yeah, boy. Yeah, but you'll stay 6. Hey, that's a win. 6 change. So I'm getting like 340 back. So I'm really excited. But if you need an accountant, I strongly suggest you use John Marquez. Marquez. Tell him I told you all about it. 842-537-6842 KERN. What do you got on the board?
Can't the Iranians just buy the bomb from China or Russia?
No. And I don't think China or Russia really even would want to do that. I don't think if the Iranians get a nuclear weapon on their own, I think Russia and China would live with that. I don't think they want their fingerprints on providing nuclear weapons to that region. They are just, I think, as concerned about the stability of the Middle East as we are. I don't think anybody wants religious zealots to have a nuclear weapon. That's a good question, though. I could be wrong, but that's my guess. As allied as they may be, I think Putin and Xi are still smart enough to know these people are crazy. These people are crazy enough to blow up this place. So no, I would not think they would. And how do you purchase a nuclear weapon? You know what I'm saying? What else you got?
Hey, Ralph, did you listen to Crusade Pete Hegseth's Crusader Prayer, which is basically the one that Samuel L. Jackson did in Pulp Fiction?
No. And I'm not surprised. Anything ridiculous that Pete Hegseth does not shock me. As you all know, I'm not a fan. I don't think he's, he's a courageous man. I think he's one of these zealots. I think he's too enthusiastic about this. I think he's enjoying this way too much. You know what I'm saying? And this whole discussion, you've noticed that I've stayed out of it as a Catholic. I've stayed out of this whole thing about the Pope and the president. And you see his most recent posting, him cheek to cheek with Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
It's just, you just want to wash your hands of the guy. You really do. After you just went through this fight with the Pope and dressing up like Jesus with light emanating from your hands and dressed up like Jesus, and then say that it had something to do with the Red Cross and that you thought you were a doctor, which is the first time I've really wondered about his senility. As brilliant as he is, and he's a brilliant man, he really truly is, no matter what you think of him, he's a brilliant man. He's 80 years old. There's one thing you can't beat, and that's Father Time. And you, if you're a loyal listener, you've watched my decline. Hell, I couldn't come up with Carly Simon's name yesterday. Or Tuesday. Are you kidding? There is definitely a mental decline. Now, he's never drank, and he certainly doesn't have THC clouding his brain as mine is, but nevertheless, there's no way in the world you could look at that picture and think you were a doctor. There's one tell that you do and wear to illustrate that you're a doctor. That's stethoscope. You wear a stethoscope around your neck. That's the telltale sign. Or obviously surgical scrubs. But not a white and red robe, as Jesus wore in many pictures. In fact, in the picture that hangs in my grandmother's house of Jesus, it's mandatory in Black family, old school with Jesus. It was, what was it? Used to be Jesus, JFK, and Martin Luther King were the three pictures that were in just about every Black home in the 60s and the 70s. Literally. It's like a cultural thing. It really, really is. I'm not lying. But I don't know. Let's just stop. Let's go and take our final break of the day. The other thing I like about Lawson's is it's a new meal every day.
True.
You never know what you're going to get. Like I almost got screwed Tuesday.
Really?
They only had one meat. It was like this chicken thing that I was like, maybe I should just walk over to Coconut Joe's. I was like, let me try it. I poured it over some rice. And it was pretty tasty, actually. Black beans. I love the black beans. I love the vegetables. The penne pasta with the pesto sauce.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little expensive. I'm going to slow down here in a minute because it's about $20 a fly. Yeah. And I always buy something else. Like tonight, I'm going to buy some cranberry juice. I'm going to have a couple cocktails tonight. I'm celebrating tonight. Having someone to the house, Mr. Burdick.
Ah.
I'm starting something I'm not going to be able to finish.
Don't get yourself in trouble before you start.
Things went well last weekend. It was like old times. Seems like old times. Great movie with Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase.
It is. It's fantastic.
Where they do the same thing I'm trying to do.
Yes, they do.
Have you seen Sam? Seems like old times?
I have, yeah.
Have you really?
I have, yeah.
It's a great ending. Do you know the ending?
I haven't seen it in a while.
Okay, so Chevy Chase finally breaks. Chevy Chase is married to Goldie Hawn. They get divorced. She marries the DA. He gets involved in a robbery. He's not involved, but they make him do the robbery. But he's not. He's a victim. And so Charles Grodin, her DA husband, has to prosecute him. And as they say, that's where the hijinks begins. And it's a typical Bailey movie because what happens, Chris Burdick?
Boy loves girl.
Chevy is married to Goldie Hawn.
And boy falls in love with girl.
They get divorced.
And then boy gets girl back for the credits roll.
The last scene of the movie is he's finally left her. He says goodbye. He gets her off from the case, and he's a free man. And Grodin and Goldie go on a hiking trip, and they have a car accident. And Grodin is hurt, and she's got to go find help. And, of course, it's Hollywood. whose cabin do you think she stumbles into? And the last scene is, it's a shot of her, and she's banging on the door, please help me. And they cut back to Chevy, who's like typing, like, who the hell is at my door? And you never see Chevy again. You just see the door open. The shot is on Goldie, and she's looking, and she looks up, and she's like, and she smiles, and that's the end of the movie. And to me, that's a Ralph Bailey movie, because that basically says in the caption, you're really who I want. I don't want Charles Grodin. In fact, I'm going to leave him in the car with his broken leg. I love you, Chevy. I'm a sucker for it. Boy meets girl. Boy breaks up with girl. Boy gets back with girl right before the credits roll. Our credits are about to roll. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. Keep it locked. Scott Jennings at the top of the hour. Tomorrow's a Friday. Rick Bentley will be with us. And I have a guest, but I can't remember who it is. You'll find out tomorrow.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m. on.
Whenever you're ready.
Don't step on it. You ready? 3, 2. So if you may have seen on Facebook and Instagram, I got to speak with Steve Garvey, Dodger legend, at Jackie Robinson night. And the story is, I asked him if he's done with politics, and he said no. He said he almost ran for governor, and he's going to run for something again. And I told him if he makes me his speechwriter and his communications director, he's got a shot. Makes me his, yeah. Did I say that right? Did I? You sure?
I think so.
All right.
Say it again real quick.
If he makes me his speechwriter,
he's got a shot.
Let's hear it. Can we hear it?
I'd have to stop it. Just do the other one real quick.
All right. What's tomorrow? Who is my guest tomorrow? God dang it. I booked somebody. Just like I forgot Henson. I should have pumped Henson. I forgot. I cannot remember. I know I booked somebody. 3, 2. It's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Friday TRBS. Well, it's a Friday. Rick Bentley will be here to talk entertainment. We'll talk about the Michael Jackson movie that's about to come out. And we'll get the latest on Epic Fury. The president said a deal is in the makings. All of that, plus me at 3. It's TRBS right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, streaming live at kernradio.com. I'll see you at 3. Okay.
Engine, truck, SUV, minivan, car owners, and RVs. If it's got an engine, then you need Kern Oil Change. Kern Oil Change keeps it running right. No appointments, no long wait, just fast, honest service from guys who get it. They top off your fluids, check your tires, all done while you chill in your ride or in our waiting room. Kern Oil Change is built for people who don't have time to waste. 2 locations to serve you, 3706 Coffee Road and 5651 Auburn Street. Kern Oil Change is open 7 days a week. Get in, get out, get going. Follow us on Instagram for additional savings.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, live at 9 a.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230,
KERN.
Let him in. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Let him in, let him in. Someone's knocking on the door. Somebody's ringing the bell. Someone's knocking at the door. Somebody's ringing the bell. Sooner or later, open the door and let him in. Ooh, yeah. This is Wings, Paul McCartney, is it not? This is not Beatles. This is 70s. This is when he was with Wings. I heard Eddie Murphy on a reel last night, and he said it was from the Jimmy Fallon show, and he said, the word genius is completely overused, and I absolutely agree with him. But he said, I have met 3 true geniuses, and he said it's Stevie, Prince. He left off Michael Jackson, which I was surprised because he was a friend of Michael Jackson. But he said it was Stevie, who was not only a musical genius, but if you just sat down and talked to Stevie, you'd be shocked how brilliant he was. And he said Prince was another guy like that who was just off the chart genius. And the third one, surprisingly, was Paul McCartney. He said Paul McCartney was an absolute genius. And if you know anything about music, which Eddie Murphy thinks he does because he had kind of what was that hit?
Party all the time.
Party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. My girl likes to party. It was horrible. In fact, I just did a better version than Eddie did. It was horrible, but it made money. I think Rick James produced it for him, I think. Yeah, something crazy like that. But I was shocked by that, just a little bit. I mean, McCartney, I always thought Lennon. Who was your favorite Beatle? I always thought Lennon was the genius.
McCartney.
You, yeah?
I was more of a McCartney guy.
Yeah, I was always a Lennon guy.
I always blamed John and Yoko for kind of messing
destroying
up
the band. Well,
don't get me wrong. I understand Paul was a perfectionist and probably was an absolute head case to work with.
Yeah.
But that you can kind of get over if you're making money.
Yeah, when you've got a 4-person tight group that you travel together. I mean, they were like brothers throughout the 60s. And then you bring a fifth element where apparently, from everything that I've read and seen in documentaries, she went everywhere with John. I mean, to rehearsals, to meetings, to financial meetings, to stuff that, the other guys didn't bring their women. Paul was married to Linda at the time, who died. And remember, she had cancer. She lost her leg and all kind of things. He was devastated by that. But they, Ringo wasn't with Barbara Bach yet, who he's still with. Remember Barbara Bach? She was gorgeous. In fact, they starred in a ridiculous dinosaur movie together. Did you ever see that? Neither did I, but I remember it. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that. And I think had it not been for, let me not even go there, because I always mix up Reagan's with John's. Mark Chapman, right? I think it's Mark Chapman. Had it not been for Mark Chapman, I think they would have gotten back together. I think they would have at least done, by now, they would have done an album back together. I don't think there's any question. You doubt that?
No, I'm saying, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I think so.
I was kind of wrapping my head around it, but no, I think you're right. If he didn't get in the way, you probably would have at least got one more before they all.
And one major tour.
Yeah.
One major global tour, especially after they've seen the Rolling Stones do it and the Who did it for a little bit and all these groups that are redoing it and making just ridiculous money.
Yeah.
And plus, it's what they love to do. It's like retiring from football or a sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine what it's like to walk out on stage and have 56,000 people screaming your name.
Yeah, and they could have made a ton of money on that reunion tour.
Can you imagine? Particularly if they've waited and got it like into the 70s or maybe the early 80s and gone on like a college tour around the United States and then gone global. Oh, God. That's going to do it for us. I want to thank Mike Turnipseed, Daniel Petrie. Another shout out to Mike Big Dog Parent, Scotty G, and Ron. We had a great time last night. Thank you, fellas. Appreciate the love. I'll be wearing the jersey they gave out to the first 40,000 people last night tomorrow. I'll give you a look at that. And tomorrow, as I mentioned, is a Friday. Rick Bentley will be here and an unnamed guest to be determined. In the meantime, for Chris Murnick, I'm Ralph Bailey. This has been the Ralph Bailey Show on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1230, where we stream live at kernradio.com. I will rap to you tomorrow.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN. 96.1 FM, K241CI, Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump has nominated a former Deputy Surgeon General to be the next director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. White House correspondent Craig Clugston reports.
The top post of the CDC has been a revolving door the past few months as Donald Trump's first nominee withdrew and the second was fired after less than a month on the job. Erica Schwartz is the president's latest nominee. In addition to being a former Deputy Surgeon General, Schwartz also served as Chief Medical Officer for the U.S. Coast Guard. She holds both medical and law degrees. The Atlanta-based CDC is charged with protecting Americans from preventable health threats. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Near Washington, a murder-suicide involving a former Virginia lieutenant governor and his wife.
Virginia police say that Justin Fairfax, the state's former lieutenant governor, has shot and killed his wife and then fatally shot himself. Fairfax County police say both were found dead at their Northern Virginia home after the couple's teenage son called 911 shortly after midnight. Officers responded to the home in January after Justin Fairfax alleged that his wife had assaulted him. Police say that at some point during the couple's divorce proceedings that Mrs. Fairfax had set up video cameras inside the home. After reviewing those cameras, police